Hey. What's up? I wonder how much Virginia Tech's going to be favored against Clemson this week. What do you guys think? I think they probably should be favored by about 17. It's on the road. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Clemson plays better on the road than they do at home these days. They've totally flip-flopped. They're more likely to lose at home than on the road. So I don't know. Maybe it'll be less than maybe 16 points. 16 and a half. Oh man, how was y'all's weekend? Boy, it's a good thing that thank God for the NFL. If it weren't for the NFL, I'd be down bad today. But luckily I'm not. I'd be down real bad. What's up, Hip Elf, Bread Pit, Stingray, Nature Boy, Indula. I got my Ruger 380 pocket pistol. Which one? The what the hell is the name of that one called? The LPC Max? Is that the one you got? Or what is it? LPC Max? That's probably what you're talking about. What's up, VicTube? Oh, the regular one. Okay. What's up, Hairy Leg Jeremy? I'm entering the transfer portal until Nebraska wins a 6th game. Yeah, it's possible they might not win a 6th game. I think that they will. I think they'll win at least one more, but it's possible, I guess. I can't believe it's... How in the hell... It's week 11. And Nebraska's still not bowl eligible? Holy shit. How much are they paying Matt Rule again? I think the Panthers are still paying Matt Rule too. Jesus. He's... whoever his agent is or whatever is the best agent in the world. What big teams are not going to be bowl eligible? That's a good question. That's a great question. Well, Nebraska might be one of them. Isn't Oklahoma State 0-6 in conference play in the Big 12? They haven't won a Big 12 game yet. That's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. Is that true? Somebody fact check me. I'm pretty sure that Oklahoma State has not won a single Big 12 game. Not one. Unless maybe there's one I'm forgetting about. I guess I could just pull up their schedule and look at it. Wet blanket, yeah. Yeah, they're 0-6. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's unbelievable. Hey, look, when you're Clemson and you get blown out at home by a 500 Louisville team, you can just look and say, hey, at least we're not Oklahoma State or Nebraska. Boy, I can't wait to play Alabama in the Pop-Tart Bowl. That's going to be fun. You know what I was actually doing for real yesterday? I was sitting around trying to think of all the possible bowl matchups that Clemson, because Clemson's not going to the ACC championship. We know that now. They might lose another game, but so I'm looking around. I'm going, who's got a similar record and probably will finish with a similar type of record as Clemson? Alabama comes to mind, LSU comes to mind, which I wouldn't mind seeing either one of those games in any bowl, honestly. Colorado comes to mind. Yeah. Who else? Penn State. right? Ole Miss. See, I would be happy with any of those. I'm not even sure if Clemson has ever played Penn State in history. Maybe they did 80 years ago or something that I just don't remember. But well, I know they've never played Michigan before. Clemson and Michigan have never played, which is insane if you think about how long. I mean, both those teams have had football programs for 130 years, and they've never played. And I don't think Clemson's ever played against Texas either. Now, they won't play against Texas this year because Texas is a playoff team and Clemson isn't. So, another year without playing Texas, ever. And unfortunately, I would like to see Michigan and Clemson because they've never done it. But Michigan's, as bad as Clemson is, Michigan's way worse. So, Texas is too good to play Clemson, and Michigan is too bad. Clemson's stuck in the middle of those two teams. If Clemson finishes 11-2 with a bowl win but misses the ACC championship and the college football player, would you consider it a good season? That's a great question. If they finish 11-2 and then win a bowl, so 12-2. Wait, is that right? No, you're including the two losses in the. Okay. Yeah, I would consider an 11-2 season a success because they only won 8 last year. That's a 3-game improvement. So yeah, the losses. Here's the problem: Clemson can still win 10 games, 11 games, whatever. Probably more likely 10 with a bowl win. It's not the fact that they could lose 2 or 3 games in one season. It's how they lost. Losing to Georgia is not. There's no shame in losing to Georgia because Georgia's one of the best teams in 2024. How they lost to Georgia is embarrassing. How they lost at home to Lousville is embarrassing. Again, it's not the losses, it's how they lost. You know? Clint Eastwood says, "Shut up, Volusia." I don't even see Volusia in here. Is anybody else's stream cutting in and out? I don't. Everything looks good on my end. According to the YouTube machine, my signal is full strength, full speed ahead. So I don't know. You might want to refresh or something. I don't know. Anyway, how you guys doing? Happy Monday. Let's turn this shit off. Hey, happy Monday to everybody. I hope everyone had a great weekend. Good morning, Scott.
Hey, good morning, Pete. How are you, man?
I'm, considering the fact that Clemson got embarrassed, they got their asses handed to them on Saturday, I'm actually doing great. Yeah, I
felt that I felt your pain because I tell you something, Georgia certainly didn't play well in the first half either.
Yeah, that was wild.
You know what? I would never say this, but I actually felt sorry for the Florida football program because here they are on their third string quarterback. The Lagway got a hamstring; he's probably out for the rest of the season, and now they're using a kid from I think Yale is where he's from.
Yeah, I think so. I think something like that.
Yeah, and then Carson throws 3 damn interceptions, 11 interceptions in the past few games. I mean, that's ridiculous. And Kirby keeps going, well, he has some drop passes and all that. He keeps taking up for him. And then I heard Carson on the press conference going, well, I'm just out there to have fun. How about throwing the fucking ball, at the right place?
Yeah, Carson Beck is having a terrible season.
He is, man.
How many interceptions has he thrown?
Do you think that?
Has he thrown like 15 interceptions already?
To his head.
Oh, I got to pull up his stats. How many interceptions has he thrown this year? Do you know?
I want to say 11, I think.
It's more than 10, right?
Yeah, it's 11.
Holy shit, man. That's like Cade Klubnik of 2023 bad.
I think he, like last year, I think he only threw like 2 or 3 interceptions the whole damn season.
Yeah, 11 in the past 5 games. That's even worse.
Yeah. So it's an average if he's throwing 3 interceptions per game. And how we're winning these games is beyond my ass, Pete. Other than our defense has been showing up.
I'll tell you one thing. Georgia's team is good enough to make a run for the championship, right? I think that they are. Their entire team is. It would be a shame if the only reason you don't make it all the way, or even get to play in the game that gets you all the way, is because your quarterback sucks.
Yeah.
That would be a shame.
Yeah, when he was just right on, nearly perfect last season, and then again, I don't know whether he's got his mind on his money and his money on his mind. Maybe drinking too much gin and juice. I have no freaking idea, but I think Kirby needs to. Well, Kirby did have some words with him on the sideline. I did notice that.
Is he still dating that Cavender twin girl?
Yeah, he is.
He might need to go ahead and break up with her. She's got his mind all fucked up.
And he's got a Lamborghini, and he's got $1 million in NIL money and all that. So I don't know if that has anything to do with it or not either.
Yeah,
so
I don't know.
And really, returning to his hometown of Jacksonville, I thought that he would, play an exemplary game. Of course, he comes back in the second half and throws, targets, perfect targets, but it takes him an entire damn half to warm up. Dear God, get out there and warm up way before the game starts.
I didn't watch that whole game.
Interceptions out of your damn head, man.
I was switching between that and another game this past weekend, so I didn't see the whole thing. But didn't he throw 2 back-to-back interceptions on back-to-back drives, like 2 minutes apart?
Yes, he did.
Damn.
He certainly did. Which you talking about stomping and cussing and all that while I'm watching it just made me, made every Georgia fan sick, I'm sure. How about South Carolina, though, stomping on Texas A&M's ass?
Look, I've been saying it all year about South Carolina. Now, first of all, of course, Clemson loses, so I get, a lot of the South Carolina fans only come around my channel when Clemson loses because they, I don't know why, but that's why. Which is fine, whatever. But so yesterday, of course, I'm getting inundated with the South Carolina fans talking about how, I probably still think Clemson's going to beat South Carolina. I've been saying all year that they could lose that game. And now, considering the trend, Clemson went like fucking 8 or 9 years without losing a game at home, some crazy shit like that under Dabo.
Yeah.
Now all they do is lose at home.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a better chance of winning. I'm glad we're going to Virginia Tech and Pitt, because if they came to Clemson, we'd probably fucking lose to both of them.
and what about Dabo saying, "Oh yeah, I'm so proud of our fans"? He was saying, of course, sarcastically. He was all pissed off about that.
Oh, you know what? I didn't even watch the. Here's one thing I know about Dabo. All right, because we've seen him lose a lot of games. So he's been there for 17 years. Everybody loses games. Every single time. And I don't know. I didn't watch a single post-game press conference with Dabo after this loss. I didn't even want to hear it. But here's what I do know. There's at least a 99.99% chance that he said something fucking stupid after the loss. A 99.99% chance. I just don't know what it is, but I would be shocked if he didn't say something stupid after that loss.
He said it, but he said it in and if anyone took it for hard, saying that, he's proud of those fans that got out and threw garbage on the field. He said it. Of course, he said it sarcastically. He said, "I'm really, really proud of them." And of course, somebody took it and said, "Oh well, listen to him. He's proud of these."
Oh people. Yeah, he's obviously being snide. I'm surprised that's all he said about it. I'm being serious.
I didn't watch the full thing. I just saw the headlines of it as well. So, and one more thing, Vanderbilt has the number on any Alabama team. I'm just blown away by that too as well.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, when I was watching the Clemson game live, I was live streaming it, and when the trash started coming on the field, I said, "Oh no." I said, "Oh no, Dabo is not going to like that. I already know it." He doesn't really have the ability to not say what he's thinking, unfortunately, sometimes.
Right.
Which, by the way, I suffer from the same disease, so I understand where he's coming from, but I also don't get paid $11 million to represent a university. I'm just an idiot on the internet. But
well, yeah. Well, if you're a Clemson fan and you see, you see how bad they played per se, yeah, you're going to be upset about it, man. I mean, although we won that game and we won it, we didn't cover the spread because I think the spread was 14.5, so we missed about half a point. But for us to come back and actually get 2 touchdowns and get a 2-touchdown lead and win that game, I was still surprised because Florida was playing their heart out. I know they were, and I could see it in the first half, and then when Lagway got hurt, I'm going, oh, hell, man, they are down to the 3rd-string QB.
Do you know what?
I had a little tear shed my eye from Billy Napier.
Do you know what Lisa? Do any of you guys know what Lisa Sims is talking about? She says, "What about James Franklin having words with the fan after losing?"
Yeah, he actually had words with his Penn State fans as he's leaving because they were saying you suck or something. I didn't see it per se.
Well,
but
you know what? I don't really. If fans are yelling at you and saying you suck, you should be able to say "fuck you" back. I mean, I don't really have a problem with that.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, you got to understand that they're human too, and they can only put up with so much shit. And
he's some punk ass kid sitting there fucking telling you suck. Yeah, well, fuck you.
Well, right. And look, Franklin,
seriously,
and Penn State played their heart out in that game too against Ohio State. That game could have gone either way.
Yeah. Now I don't agree with I mean, look, don't throw stones if you live in a glass house type of thing. I mean, I know Lisa's an Ohio State fan, so I just happen to know that. But let's not forget that Ryan Day, the first thing he did after he won a game was go and start trashing an 89-year-old man who can't even talk anymore.
Yeah.
That was weird.
I can't stand Ryan Day. There's something about that man. I just cannot stand him. But, obviously he's a pretty good coach.
Yeah, I think Ryan Day's a good coach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I apologize.
There was a lot of upsets, weren't there? I mean, okay.
Well, Vanderbilt.
Texas A&M lost. Clemson lost. Didn't Iowa lose?
I think so.
Yeah.
I'm
surprised to see Georgia's still at number 2.
Who'd LSU play? I can't even remember. Who'd LSU play? Did they play?
Who?
LSU.
No, I think LSU had a bye week.
Oh. Well, anyway. Oh, yeah, Iowa State lost. That's right. I apologized last week, Scott. Look, I'm not going to
It's fine. Hey, man, it's okay. It's all good. I got some leftover fake news here for you.
Last week was
really good.
Last week was a weird week for your boy. So, but here I'm back. So there is that.
I'm glad you're good, brother. I'm glad you're all whole. Okay.
Yeah.
So you throw out the intro and I'll give you.
All right, yeah, let's do it. I've been looking forward to this. Since last week. So.
Breaking news from the PigskinPeete YouTube channel.
Well, it's time for Peete Podcast Fake News. Vote for me and I'll set you free. Right on, brother. Right on. Auburn coach Hugh Freeze was just recently caught on the TV show On Patrol Live shitting in a bush. Auburn police were called on the campus for someone was exposing themselves near one of the buildings. When the cops showed up, they found Freeze in front of an administration building, defecating behind a bush. He was also yelling, saying, "Bowles, you better straighten up and listen to me. How can I coach you when you decide to shit anytime you want?" Auburn police arrested Hugh Freeze, who also defecated in the car before they got him into jail. One of the officers, who wanted to name anonymous, said, "He's just all fucked up." On Patrol Live said they've seen a lot of shit, but not as much as Hugh Freeze produced. LSU coach was attending his 765th anger management class because of his recent outburst during the LSU-Texas A&M game. "Hopefully this one will take," said a reluctant Brian Kelly. As soon as he walked into the meeting, Kelly started ranting that the chairs weren't in proper order and the light was way too bright in the room. He went on to yell that the counselor was reading from a book from 2016 that he's already heard and get up to date with something new. All the participants in the meeting got really pissed off and literally kicked Brian Kelly and the arse out of the meeting, the office, and on the street. Harry Sack shouted, "Woo, that felt good." Others also agreed that it was the best class they've attended. After the ass kicking, the class invited Kelly to come back again so they could get their frustrations out on him. A bruised Kelly could only hobble to his car and speed away. College Game Day is now the most annoying show to play on ESPN, according to the latest Nielsen ratings. Participants of the survey stated this continuous laughing and cackling over nothing was like listening to fingernails on a chalkboard. Producers of the show admitted they have been infusing the morning coffee with THC and mushrooms to possibly liven up the show, but maybe they went too far. When Nick Saban is eating a steak from the hand of Pat McAfee, you know there is something badly wrong. Miss Terry, the wife of Coach Saban, who is Miss Martial Arts expert, went into the offices under producers and beat the bloody hell out of them. She left a note saying, "Never, ever embarrass my husband again, or I'll plant you in the ground somewhere outside of Tuscaloosa." Producers of the show were all hospitalized, and new producers are on the show with just fresh coffee and Dunkin' Donuts to offer. And lastly, the world's largest cocktail party happened Saturday with Georgia beating the Gators 34-20. But according to our fake news sources, Billy Napier has been in the bottle since the end of the game. He is holed up in his house and ordering handles of Jack Daniels every hour, said our fake news reporter Harry Nuts. The reason we've been given is that Napier seemed to have a nervous breakdown when he couldn't get his barber to shave his head this past week, and his pet hamster named Buttercup died. "I do know he was really close to his hamster," said fourth-string Gator cornerback Dayton Silicone. "I do know he was really close to him. He would have it at our practice and have him make some sort of play call decisions with the little noises he made. It might be a good thing that little hamster's passed, so Napier now can start doing the play calling himself." Whether Coach Napier will show up for the upcoming Texas game is to be determined. No funeral arrangements for Buttercup has been announced, but we at Fake News send our thoughts and condolences to Buttercup. Born August 5th, 2023, died October 27th, 2024. And Peete Podcast Fake News is being brought to you by Old Bear Ass Gas. For you fanatical Crimson Tide fans, you can now purchase a bowel gas from Coach Bear Bryant himself. These jars have been in storage for 40 years, so it's vintage ass gas from Old Bear. That's right. You can smell the gas that's passed from the ass of Old Bear Bryant. But wait, there's more. Order today and receive boogers from the nose of Nick Saban. You receive 7 jars, a booger for every natty that Saban won with Alabama. Eat them, smell them, or just put them on the mantle proudly. But buy yours today for only $5,000 or easy payments of $899 for 6 months. Buy online at oldbearass.eu or call 1-800-ASK-GAS. Operators are standing by. And Hell's Angels Bar in Goose Creek, where it's Beat a Pedophile Week all week long. This is when Hell's Angels find the homes of pedophiles and beat their ass and whack their pee-pee. No pedophile tallywhackers waving no more once Hell's Angels get a hold of them. And all this week at the compound, free leftover candy from Halloween for the little children and free rusty razor blades and shard glass to play with at Hell's Angels Bar, right before Stumpy's Firecracker Stand in Goose Creek. I just bought a pair of Velcro sneakers. They were a total ripoff. Hey, I'm not doing this shit for my health. Scott Kerr reporting.
Another great segment, Scott. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
I just now started looking at the list. There's some great games this week.
Well, Georgia's playing Ole Miss in Oxford, so yeah, that's a hell of a game.
And I also noticed, now this is DraftKings I'm looking at here, just to see the lines on them and everything.
Yeah.
No Clemson. No Clemson line, but the Clemson they confused the odds they still haven't figured out what to set the line at. They confused them. Right now, somewhere in the desert in Las Vegas, there's three 65-year-old Italian men locked in a room trying to figure out what line to make.
Very true. I mean, there's a lot of truth to that statement there, Pete.
Damn. Makima, you are a terrible troll. First of all, he says Pete had a generational crash out Saturday, only here for the aftermath. Well, you'd be here anyway. So, I mean, so it wouldn't matter crash out or no crash out, you'd still be here. Second of all, why are you always yelling? Do you know that typing in all caps is supposed to mean that you're yelling? Leave the yelling to me. And then he says that Virginia Tech will break, will buck break. I don't even know what that means. Buck break. You ever heard somebody say that before?
It sounds like he's gay and he likes to buck break himself.
Buck break Clemson. Clemson's already broken, so try again.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Yeah.
These people. Here's the thing. I love after a loss. I actually do get some kind of enjoyment out of it. I mean, I obviously would like Clemson to not get blown out by Louisville at home. But I'm going to be honest with you. The day or two following a loss like that, I probably have more fun than if they would have went out there and beat Louisville. I'm being honest.
Sure. Well, look, I'm every game that I watch with Georgia this year has just been like, UGA had me like this, like Fred Sanford, like a heart attack, because they're hard to watch. Now, the Texas game was a joy. I will say that one was not the first half, but, at the end of that game, that was a joy to watch. But the rest of them have just been, we didn't show up for Mississippi State. I mean, we've come back every game before that in the second damn half. And then, like we said earlier, 11 damn interceptions from Carson Beck. That doesn't bode well for being a happy fan of the Georgia Bulldogs.
Now, this is a good question. Nature Boy says we get the first CFP rankings tomorrow, right? Is it?
Yeah, we do.
So they're going to do that.
Going to be watching that with the election.
That's what I was about to say. What a terrible time. They're doing it on Election Day?
An election night at 7 p.m.
They should just move it back a day or forward a day. Just don't do it on Election Day. That's weird.
Thursday, for God's sakes. I mean, I didn't understand that at all. When I heard that, I went, well, no one's going to see that shit. I mean,
Well, it's going to be buried in the news, yeah. But I mean, people like me and you will pay attention to it. But as far as reaching a broad audience, trying to get new people to watch, I don't think anybody. I mean,
yeah. This guy says, and also, Pete, I type in cast because everything I'd say is of the utmost importance. Wow.
I believe that you believe that.
Wow, he's really full of shit, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, well, of course. Yeah, he's an idiot. I don't even know if it's a he. They, he, she, him, whatever pronouns.
Oh, man, yeah. I saw somebody on YouTube, and I just thought, this guy needs a bro bra. Remember that episode with Jerry Seinfeld?
Yeah. So damn, I guess I wonder what time the rankings come on. 7 p.m. I think.
7 p.m. tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that means that the basketball season. When does basketball season start? Because for the college, I mean.
I'm not sure, man.
Has it started
already? It's already started, hasn't it?
Well, I know it starts right around the time the first CFP rankings come out every year, because the first couple of rankings they do at 7 p.m. And then when the basketball season gets going, they have basketball games on ESPN at 7. So then they move it to 9 o'clock after the first. Oh, it starts tonight. Okay. Well, damn, a lot's going on. Basketball starts tonight. CFP rankings start tomorrow. Election tomorrow. It's going to be a busy week.
Yes, it will. It certainly will. Yeah, they had nothing to talk about in the pregame of Auburn Vanderbilt, so they had the basketball coach out there talking to him.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God, they did. They had him out there talking. Because Auburn's ranked 11th, I guess, in the pre-rankings. Yeah.
Really? What?
Yeah.
Auburn's ranked?
Yeah, Auburn basketball's ranked.
Oh,
yes.
okay. Yeah, you confused me there for a second. How many games? What is Auburn's football record? Are they like 3 and
2 and are they 2 and 5 now?
2 and 5?
Is that right?
They got to be 2 and 6, right? They played 8 games.
Oh, okay. Maybe 2 and 6.
Whatever. Yeah, they're fucking God. Well, somebody asked earlier, which major programs are probably not going to make a bowl. Well, Auburn is one.
Yeah.
Nebraska has to get one more win, I think. Can they do it? Hold on. Is Nebraska have 5 wins? I think they might.
Yeah, they're in the win column instead of the win. Yeah, they're in the win column instead of the win-loss column. No loss column.
Yeah.
I'd have to look.
Also, I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to give any picks against the spread until tonight on the Lunch Money Show. But there's some of these lines. There's a couple that are a little bit perplexing to me. Where's the one that I was looking at? See if I can find. Ohio State's favored by 38 over Purdue. That's not the game I'm talking about, but 38 points. Holy shit. Now, this is just funny more than anything. Michigan is a 14-point underdog to Indiana. I just said that. Michigan, the defending national champion, is a 14-point underdog to Indiana. Holy shit. Will they make a bowl?
No. No, they will not. They will not. And that's something a team that was the number one, the champion the year before, have just fallen apart.
Michigan definitely. Well, I think they're going to lose too. They might lose by more than 14.
Well, what about Florida State, man? I mean, that's another team from last year that was, everyone thought, oh, well, Florida State's back, and they haven't done squat.
Well, they've given up too.
Yeah, I truly believe that. I truly believe they've given up.
They've definitely given up. If you watch them play, now I'll give them credit. They even when they were like 1-5, like they still were playing hard. Now they're completely checked out. They don't even care. Yeah. They probably won't win another game. And guess who they play this week? They play Notre Dame this week.
How would you motivate a team like that, Pete?
Well,
sat there in the low.
Well, here's the other problem. Well, there's a lot of problems. I mean, we get to talk all day about Florida State's problems, but when you have a bunch of mercenaries on your team, I mean, I don't know how many transfers they've got, but it's got to be in the 30s. Where's my Florida State people at? How many transfer players are on that team right now? Now they don't have any loyalty to Florida State. They're like I said, they're mercenaries. So when the wheels start to fall off, they're already thinking about where they're going to be playing next year. They don't give a fuck about next year's team at all. They don't.
Is Ukulele eligible to play again next year?
I think so. Yeah.
Is he really? God,
I don't know for sure, but I'm sure he'll get a medical red shirt probably. I mean.
Wow.
And then, where would he go?
Well, because no one's going to draft him in the damn NFL.
No. Now, he probably still thinks he probably still wants to try, so, he'll play one more year somewhere. I don't have no idea who would take him. I mean.
No. Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have to go to, like, I don't know. Hawaii, maybe? I don't know.
Hawaii. Wow. Or New Mexico. Go to the Lobos.
UTEP. I got no idea.
Damn, man. Well, they were even talking about Carson Beck could have a possible another year eligibility, and I'm going, no, I don't want him to have another year eligibility. I'm not sure about that.
I thought Beck was a junior.
If he keeps fucking up his draft status, he might need it.
Isn't Beck a junior?
Yeah, I think he's. Well, he might be. Yeah, I think it was a junior last year. I think he is a senior.
Oh, so Scott, I believe he's a fifth-year senior, but he does have a COVID year because he was in the program in 2020.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's right.
Someone mentioned that. I thought someone mentioned that. He might have another year, but damn,
Which is the same. But by the way, which is the same for DJU because DJU was at Clemson in 2020.
I'm ready for Gunnar Stockton or anyone else running
That quarterback that plays for Louisville, he's like a ninth year player or some shit.
He's 25.
Yeah.
He's 25 years old, really?
He's got kids and a mortgage.
So he started his career, I want to say, at Texas Tech, and then he went to Oregon, and now he's at Louisville. Yeah.
Well, with NIL money, that's why I think they might stay in. If they're making a little bit of money that way, because they're probably thinking no one's going to draft me.
That's right. And Scott and Pete, I think that's actually good for college football. That's the one thing, or not the one, but that's good for college football. It does keep players that aren't necessarily pro prospect, also for college basketball as well. Guys who don't necessarily translate to the pros, but can play in college and make money, and I'm okay with that.
Isn't next year the?
Too. I have no problem with that, but I'm just like, there's certain ones you want to go. Well, time for you to go.
I think that is right. Next year is the last year of the COVID red shirt, right? Because it'll be, we got 5 years.
Well, Vic Tube, he knows, if anybody knows, and he said, yeah, Beck is a fifth-year senior, but because he had a COVID year remaining, yeah. Well, unless he really gets back to his old way and actually being precise and throwing passes, it might be that the pressure was, too, that he was throwing a lot of passes instead of us running the ball. And now both of our, Etienne is hurt. Okay, so I don't know when he'll be back.
Yeah, what's his injury?
He had a rib injury, so I'm not sure how severe that is. And then Branson Robinson's out. But I got to tell you that Nathan Frazier, kid straight out of Compton, that kid can run, man.
Cass Jones was that the best game Cass Jones has played ever?
Oh my God, I love Cash Jones. I just love his name. I love. I mean, for him to take it and had 3 defenders on him and take it to the house was amazing.
Well, I think I already know the answer to this, Volusia, but I need you.
Do you need me to though? Really?
I think I kind of do. I think I kind of need to know what you think about what you saw. Did you watch the game? I'm sure you did.
I did. So I was in Chengdu for a soccer game. I was hungover as shit. I woke up 7:30 in the morning, watched it in my hotel room by myself. It was depressing.
Well, you're stuck in a hotel in Chengdu, hungover, and had to watch that?
No. I had a great time in Chengdu. I was there for a soccer game. It was fantastic. But I woke up 7:30 in the morning, hungover as fuck, watching it alone in my hotel room, and nice hotel room at least, but like, damn, dude, look. Okay, so I don't want to drag this on too long. It was one of the most depressing games I've seen in a long time. If you think back on, we obviously, if we're talking about the different eras and iterations of Clemson football, obviously 2021 through now is one. And then we had obviously our era of dominance, and then you go back into our sort of come-up era in the early 2010s. Okay, I mean, after that 2013 Jameis game, I mean, man, there haven't been that many losses that I was so demoralized by, because I felt like, and I can point out a few exceptions. The last playoff game lost to Ohio State was pretty rough. But like, if you look at the losses last year, we were bad against NC State, but the Florida State and Miami games both went to overtime. The Duke game was a bunch of fumbles on the goal line. And you go back in the couple years before that, the Notre Dame game in 2022 was pretty bad. The one where I made that stupid song and then we fucking absolutely got shit pushed.
That one was bad.
Yeah,
that one was bad, but it wasn't in Clemson though.
It wasn't, but what I'm saying is, like, that's also another, and it was at night.
Yeah.
Just how we were beaten soundly in every phase, offense, defense, special teams. There's not one single position group on the field where we played better than them, and it's rare to see that. It was really, really bad. And I don't think it's necessarily representative of who we are as a team this year. Listen, when you're not, and I mean, Georgia played a 13-12 game with Kentucky, and I'm not trying to trash Georgia here, okay? And Georgia played a horrible first half against Alabama, whatever. But it's not about Georgia, and I understand that Georgia's a better team than we are, obviously. What I'm saying is that, like, man, that was a fucking depressing game from start to finish. Now, I don't think that necessarily portends losses in any future games. I think that our next two games are more difficult than the last game, but that doesn't mean we'll lose them.
Well,
but man, fuck, that was rough. That was a fucking terrible performance, man. Just awful.
Well, the great debate. Of course, I made my State of the Fan video yesterday, and I talked mainly about the defense and Wes Goodwin, because that's really where my head's at right now as far as who the next coaching change needs to be. I mean, we can talk about some of the other assistants too, but he's a coordinator. And, of course, a lot of people disagree with me. They're like, well, Pete, they had 7 points. The offense was terrible, too. I understand that. Here's the thing, though. The offense has been carrying this football team all year. The defense is steadily getting worse.
It's concerning. I don't know. I mean, look, I mean, obviously Wes Goodwin is, in a sense, an acolyte of Venables. I don't know. He's not Venables, right?
No, shit. I was willing to give Wes Goodwin. This is where I stand with Wes Goodwin. I think everyone already knows by now where I stand. Well, I'm done with him. But I was willing to give Wes Goodwin the benefit of the doubt. His first time being, isn't it his first time being a defensive coordinator in college? I think it is. Yeah.
Yes.
He worked under Venables for 3 years.
He went to the Cardinals for like a year or two.
Yeah, he was an NFL guy too. But he's
not an NFL guy, but he did do it.
Well, he coached in the NFL is what I mean. I gave him the benefit of the doubt. He said all of the right things, right? He continued to recruit at a high level. There really was no real difference, maybe a little bit, but not really. I mean, still getting the blue chip 5-star defensive linemen and linebackers and all that shit, and defensive back. So everything was looking like it wouldn't be a complete fall off from Venables. Now, to his credit, it wasn't a complete fall off. I mean, it was obviously not the same defense from day one. But it's instead of getting better, it's getting worse the longer he's there. And there's no excuse to have a top 10 defensive roster in the country, and I don't even know what they're ranked defensively. Probably somewhere in the 60s.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. No, it was an incredibly poor performance. You know what? At this point, I think because. Before the season, and we talked about this obviously quite a bit, we reckoned at the time that our more difficult games in the conference would be early in the conference season. Now, that didn't come to pass because obviously Florida State is an absolute fucking tire fire. And NC State, although they have been playing better as of late, are also...
They're still a bad team. Yeah, it's a bad team.
Right.
Clemson's ranked 51st, by the way, in defense.
Oh, well, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. I mean, look, I don't... I think that the next... I hate to say... Well, let's say the next two games first. So they're both on the road and against ACC teams that are toward the upper part of the conference in terms of talent and how they're playing, at least at this point in the season. I know Pitt got their ass kicked last week, but I mean, that was their first loss. I know we're favored by about a touchdown. I saw 6.5 against Virginia Tech. I think it's about right. I think we should win the game.
Yeah, we should.
If we play anything resembling how we played last weekend, we're going to get our ass kicked.
Yeah, we should have beat Louisville. I mean, Clemson's more talented than Louisville. I'm sorry, they are.
Yes, we're more talented than every team we're going to play.
Apparently, Louisville just has a better coaching staff.
Right. Well, I don't know that that's the case.
Well,
we just played poorly. I mean, look, I think it's reasonable to suspect that we played poorly in a single game situation, but I think that how we play over the next 2 weeks is going to tell the tale.
Okay, so here's where I agree with you. I agree that the Clemson team that we saw on Saturday is probably not likely going to be the Clemson team we see for the rest of the games this year. But here's what I do: I don't trust. They're too inconsistent. If they were playing South Carolina this weekend, not only would South Carolina be favored, I think that they would win in Clemson.
I think that yes, I agree. I think if we played them this weekend, we would lose. I do agree.
So
I don't know if that's going to be the case a month from now.
I don't know, man.
So let me ask you something. What do you think your chances are with Miami?
We're not going to play them now because we're not going to the ACC championship.
We're not even on track to get there at this point.
Yeah, right now, right now it's look. I mean,
SMU is undefeated, and so is Miami in the conference. We're going to need one of those two to lose, and then we'll get into the championship game. From what I understand, and again, correct me if I'm wrong. So we talked about this before about the tiebreakers in terms of getting into the ACC championship game, to where it was some sort of like a stat poll. Actually, I was incorrect about that. It's the conference record of conference opponents, and I think we have an advantage over both SMU and Miami in that regard. I could be wrong about that, but
now Miami's not losing another game. Have you seen their schedule?
Yeah, well, I
mean,
think they could lose this weekend. What I'm saying is, like, it's not impossible. You trust Miami to play a full 4 quarters of good football?
No, but I don't. I think I would be surprised if they lost a game. I mean, of course, anything can happen. I understand that, but
listen, at the end of the day, if SMU and Miami win the remainder of their conference games, it's a moot point because we're not in the championship game, right?
Right.
So let's suppose that one of them does drop one game somewhere, and then we end up in the championship game as a result of that, right?
So what you're saying is that if SMU loses, Clemson wins the tiebreaker somehow?
Yeah, because we're going to have played a tougher conference schedule. What it is it's your conference opponents' overall conference record, and SMU played the bottom of the ACC. So if SMU does lose a game, our ACC opponents will have a better conference record than theirs.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Even if that happens, I don't think Clemson's winning the ACC. Now it's possible that that would be the most 2024 thing ever. If Clemson gets blown out by Georgia, then loses, it gets blown out at home by to Louisville, and then goes on to win the ACC and make it in the playoffs. That would be the craziest turn of events. I just don't see. Well, there's a 10% chance of that happening.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's a decent chance that we end up in there because, look, I mean, both teams have 3 or 4. I think both teams have 4, and maybe SMU only has 3 ACC games left to play. And when you compound the statistical likelihood, let's say that there's 75% chance to win every game, even 80. There's a decent chance that one of them is going to drop some game somewhere. And as we know, college football does work like that. Now, if they both win out, so be it, And if we want to get in the playoff, we'll have to win out and get lucky, right?
Mm-hmm.
But look, my point right now is as awful as we were this weekend, and we all saw it, and it was depressing. But, if we come out and look the way we did this past weekend in our remaining games outside of the Citadel, we're not going to win those games, and so it's going to be a moot point. We're not making playoff anyway, right?
Yeah.
If we come out and play the way that we played against Louisville or Georgia, against Pittsburgh or Virginia Tech or South Carolina, we're going to lose at least one of those games.
We have this debate every year. Like, would you rather see your team make the playoffs and lose in the playoffs, or not make the playoffs at all?
You know who I think your toughest opponent's going to be, too, at the end of the season? It's going to be South Carolina.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what, man? Well, it looks that way right now. I don't know. Look, I'm not willing to take any steps to say that, Clemson's not a good team. If we come out against Virginia Tech next week and lose the way we did against Louisville, okay. Yeah, then
they're a decent team. I don't know if good would be the word I would use to describe them. Definitely not great.
They're a decent team. I would say Virginia Tech played poorly earlier in the year. We didn't realize how good Vanderbilt was, and I don't think Rutgers is very good. Virginia Tech is a team that has improved as of late, and I think but they did lose to Syracuse. I think they're just a pretty good ACC team, right?
Yeah, I actually think
I would say the same about Louisville. Right? And they just came into our house and beat our ass, which is embarrassing. And so I think that if we turn around and beat Virginia Tech by 20 this weekend, rather, then I think that I feel better. If we turn around and
that's very possible. Again, I don't have a very high opinion of Virginia Tech. So I mean, they should go in there and win by 2 touchdowns at least, and I think that they probably will. I'm with Scott. I think clearly the toughest game left on our schedule is South Carolina.
I think that might be the case. I'm not quite ready to say that yet. I think it's easy to say that right now because of how bad Pitt looked this past weekend. That might be the case. It might be the case. I mean, I still think that we might be favored once that game rolls around, but it depends on how we perform in the next couple of games. You know what I mean? Like
South Carolina has a top 15 defense. I mean, they've been playing pretty damn stout defensively.
Oh, defensively, they're great, really.
Yeah.
They do have a very, very good defense. They have a lot of talented players on their defense. And their offense
has been bad all year. Now, I guess they had their best offensive performance last week.
Right.
But without a doubt, I mean, they just annihilated Texas A&M. I mean, that was
it was a bit. Listen, you got to give
football for you.
You've got to give South Carolina credit.
That's my point, Scott. Like, I think that anybody can have a flat day or a flat half or whatever. My question about Clemson was our performance against Louisville this past weekend sort of a microcosm of that, or is it the fact that we have? I mean, I don't think that we're a perfect or a complete team, obviously. Otherwise,
are you saying that was possibly an anomaly? Is that what you're saying, kind of, sort of?
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, we'll find out over the next 2 weeks. We're at Virginia Tech and at Pitt. Whether or not that was an anomaly, we'll learn in the next 2 weeks.
Well, Cade was sacked 3 times on Saturday night against Louisville's defense.
I don't think Cade played particularly poorly. I thought our offense.
No, I don't think he played poorly at all. I mean, he's running for his life.
Yeah.
Sacked 3 times. There was multiple drop passes, some big ones too.
Yeah.
Sure. And again, he had 150 more passing, or 100 more passing yards than the Louisville quarterback did. So, but anyway, and 0 turnovers.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm sorry, Scott. Go ahead, bud.
No, I was just going to say, well, Carson Beck sat back in the damn pocket a few times, like, I'm going to make me a ham and cheese sandwich here, and then I'll throw the ball. I was like, damn, just get rid of the damn ball, man. Yeah, it was frustrating.
Well.
Yeah. Well, look, I mean, I think the most disappointing aspects, I mean, obviously, we can break it down. Again, I don't want to talk about this game too much because it makes my head hurt, but, Klubnik, I don't think he played poorly, but his yards per attempt was awful. He threw 56 passes, and of course that was because we were losing.
101 plays they ran. 101.
Now Phil Maffa had 170 some odd yards rushing.
Yeah.
His yards per carry.
Well, Phil Maffa's a beast. If it weren't for him, we might be fucking a barely bowl eligible team.
Louisville rushed for almost 9 yards a carry. That's unacceptable.
Right. Exactly. Thank you for proving my defensive point here. This isn't an isolated event. How many rushing yards does Stanford have against? Stanford's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
That's a terrible team. They ran. Now Clemson kept them out of the end zone, but they ran for 1 million yards on Clemson, and this is. Pittsburgh's probably going to run for 1 million yards on Clemson. South Carolina's strength on their offense is running the ball. They might run for 250 yards on Clemson.
That's my point, Pete, is that we'll see when the time comes. I mean, look, we played a poor game against a very good team. I don't know if Georgia's a great team, but they're certainly an extremely good one. And I think that we played poorly in that game as well. So it compounded the issue, especially in the second half. Okay, then we played 6 good games against subpar teams, and then we played against an average team, and we played poorly again. Like I say, I think that the next 2 games are going to tell the tale in terms of how I feel about this year's team. If we come out this weekend against an average to decent Virginia Tech team, I don't know if those 2 terms are different. Average/decent Virginia Tech team on the road, and we dick around and lose, then that tells me that our team has got serious issues. If we come out and beat their ass, then maybe it was an anomaly. I don't know. I'm not quite ready to pass judgment on the team just yet, but I think the next 2 games are going to tell the story for me.
Well, yeah.
Look, I'm not going to chicken little about it and say the sky is falling, but I'm also not going to pretend like it wasn't a horrible performance, right?
I think defensively the sky is falling.
Yeah, we'll see.
I do. I mean, we'll see. Hell, it's week 11. I don't know how much more I need to see. I mean, we played 2 decent offenses and they both destroyed us defensively. I mean,
Yeah.
So,
well, like I say, the next two games will tell the tale.
yeah, but they're not very good. Let's look. Virginia Tech's not very good. So again,
they're not bad. But they're not very good.
another situation where we play a bad team and we'll probably beat them by multiple touchdowns. But then again, eventually you're going to play a good team like South Carolina or Miami.
Louisville's better than Virginia Tech?
Huh?
Do you think Louisville's better than Virginia? Do you think Louisville at home is a harder game than Virginia Tech on the road?
Yeah. Yeah, I think Louisville's better than Virginia Tech. Yeah, I do.
I think Louisville maybe a few points better than Virginia Tech. I think Louisville at home in Death Valley at night and at Virginia Tech in this situation are about equally challenging games. And I think that if we come out and play the same way we did this past weekend, this coming weekend, then that tells me that we've got some serious problems. If we come out and kick their ass, then that tells me that maybe it was an anomaly. But again, the next game at Pitt will sort of be a double backer test of that. If we can come out and play really well and win the next two road games comfortably and look good in those games, then I might be able to think that Louisville game was an anomaly. If we're unable to do that, then I'm worried.
Guys, I got to get out of here. I'm sorry. Pete, I won't be doing fake news Friday because I got a friend coming in from town and I got to entertain him and all that.
All right.
But we'll see you, we'll see you within next week, okay?
All right, no problem. Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, man. Thank you, guys.
Have a good day.
All right, Scott. See you, bud.
The one and the only Scott Kerr, everybody.
Yeah, dude.
So, I don't know. It's I think
unbelievable.
I think that Dabo needs to do what he's proven to do in the past, and make it a difficult decision to make a change at defensive coordinator.
Okay, so you mean fire?
I mean, look, man. He's not going to do it mid-season.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm talking about looking towards next year.
Sure.
Yeah.
But again, Pete, what I think that the rest of the season is going to tell the tale on that. If we turn around and win our next 4 games and make it into the playoff or whatever the fuck, then he's not going to do that. If we lose 2 of our next 4 games, then he's probably going to do that. Let's be frank.
Yeah.
Well.
I mean, look, our performance this past weekend was pretty markedly different from what it had been for the last couple of months.
Hey, what's Will Muschamp doing these days? Can we get him to come to Clemson to be a defensive coordinator?
Kill me, please.
He works for Georgia, right? What's his role there? Is he like a co-coordinator, or what's his?
Shut your fucking filthy mouth right now.
Muschamp.
Will Muschamp.
Yeah.
And easy. He's a defensive analyst.
He should be the next defensive coordinator for Clemson.
Yeah. The first 4 letters of that word do the talking. Get the
he was the co-defensive coordinator, but he stepped away from that role.
And the people that keep telling me that Venables is going to be available, unfortunately, I think you're wrong. I think he'll be there at least one more year. So if they do make a defensive coordinator change, now first of all, I don't think he's going to fire Wes Goodwin no matter what happens. I just think that he should, but at least not this year. I just think that he should. But anyway, Venables, he'll be at Oklahoma next year most likely, so he won't be available.
Dabo fired Brandon Streeter. So
fired Streeter, fired the offensive lines coach. Fired the defensive ends coach, all within the past 2 seasons.
We'll see.
And
again, I'm not the kind of fan to freak out after one poor performance, but see what happens.
That's right. And then he hired Garrett away from TCU.
Yeah,
he did.
Yeah, he's made a bunch of good. That's the point I made yesterday. Some fucking idiot in the comment section was like, "Dabo doesn't know how to hire coordinators. This is why Clemson's never going to be good anymore." I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He's the one that hired Chad Morris. He's the one that hired Brent Venables. He's the one that hired Garrett Riley. He's the one that hired all of them.
Pete,
his coordinator hires are the reason he's got 2 national championships.
Yeah.
Pete, I want to be very clear about this, and this is out of all due respect for you and for Vic and for a select few of the people in this comment section. You might have the most retarded comment section in the history of YouTube.
Me?
So you got to take that into account.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I know.
The comment section here is some of the most retarded people.
I know. Believe me.
You got to remember that.
Believe me. I try. It's got to have something. I'm like to idiots. I'm like fucking shit to a fly.
You're shit to a fly. You're lamp to moths.
Yeah, you and Lou have the dumbest comment sections.
Well,
the same people who are on your channel are also in Lou's comment section.
now, of course, all of you in here, well, except for Makima, you guys are all not idiots.
Makima's a fucking retard, but we don't know that.
But
Yeah, most people on the midday show are not dumb, but except for Makima.
Well, listen, Lou, all we need to do is win the ACC. I don't think we're going to get an at-large bid at this point. I feel like that's fairly unlikely. I would put that at less than 10%. I mean, it's not impossible.
again, I don't think I want to see this team in the
playoff. The thing
playoff.
about a 12-team playoff is you need to get 12 teams.
I'm telling you what, I would rather. I know you disagree with me on this. Instead of making the playoffs, I would rather Clemson play in a bowl game against an interesting matchup team,
Right.
Alabama.
And we talked about this.
LSU.
Yeah, we talked about this
Something like that.
years ago when we had this conversation, and I disagree with you. But it's fine.
You said that in like it was 21 or
No, it was 2 years ago. It was 2022 when we blew the South Carolina game, and I felt like
said that
that was 2 years ago.
Yeah, you said that you didn't want to make the playoffs because you knew that Clemson was going to get embarrassed in the first round. So you
right. Whereas Vic, I said I would rather have the chance of playing in that game.
Yeah, that you would rather go to a New Year's Six bowl and play Tennessee, who also ended up embarrassing you.
So here's the worst case scenario. Clemson somehow scraps their way to win the ACC or get an at-large bid, and then they got to play fucking Texas in the first round, and they get they lose by 30. I'd rather play
is that the worst case scenario, really?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think winning the ACC would be okay. I'd rather win the ACC and lose in the first game.
Well, I guess I would like to win the ACC, but I know that gives them an automatic bid into the playoffs, but I don't. The playoffs. I would like to win the ACC. I don't think they're going to though.
No, I don't either. But I'd like to get the shot. I mean, we'll see. Again, I'm not fucking chicken littling. We played. Listen, this past weekend was an unmitigated disaster. We were horrible. We were outplayed in every phase of the game, at every position group, in every way, it was awful. But, if we're able to turn it around and find a way, like I said a minute ago, it is quite possible that one of the two teams that are in the lead in the conference right now will drop a game somewhere. Fuck, SMU should have lost to Duke the other week.
Who do they got left to play? Let me pull that up. Do you know who they got left to play?
They don't play much of anybody.
Right, that's the thing.
Duke's not much of anybody, okay? What I'm saying is, it's possible, and if we sneak in there, we got a chance to win it. This is the sort of, look, but again, if we play the way we played this past weekend, this is all a moot point because they're going to lose at least one, maybe two more games. So, whatever. But, if we make it in the playoff, then I'm fine with that. Let's go for it. But I think that is unlikely at this point. And so we're probably going to be playing in Orlando or some shit. Okay, but, whatever.
Orlando.
Yeah, Disney World.
No, it's one of the playoff games.
Well, I wanted to chime in on comment sections when y'all mentioned the comment section.
Yeah.
The person that has the worst comment section is Uncle Lou, followed by Mark Rogers. Mark Rogers' comment section.
So what about
Is it it can't be worse than this. Mark Rogers' comment section is worse than this, really?
Yeah, what about
Why Mark Rogers' comment section is
Mark
worse?
Rogers is a nice guy, man. Holy shit.
When Mark Rogers allows his guests to speak too long, so more trolls come to Mark Rogers. Like Pete and Uncle Lou at least will cut people off. Mark Rogers.
No. I don't mean like the actual show itself. Like on the show itself, the guests that come with the possible exception of Caden, the guests on the show itself are not retarded. I'm just talking about the comment section, the the keyboard warriors.
I hear what you're saying, but his comment sections are terrible. I look at his comments; they're awful. If you
Nate, we got Nate and Caden in the.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I see that. Caden's listen. You don't even have to tell me Caden's in the back room because he's in the back room from the time the show starts till the time that it ends. Every show.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nate is here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can let.
Jesus, what's up, Nate? Is that Nate?
What's up, guys?
All right, Nate.
Yeah, what's up?
Nate, how is Michigan a 14-point underdog to Indiana? Holy shit, man.
Holy dude, it looks like an optical illusion, doesn't it?
Nate needs a third.
He's probably right, but when I look at that, I'm just like, what?
Nate needs a third team because Nebraska's, they might not make a bowl game. Well, at least they're not bowl eligible yet. And meanwhile, Michigan is a 14-point underdog to the Hoosiers.
Can you believe that Michigan and Nebraska have the same record?
Yeah, I mean,
you could switch over to be a Clemson fan. There's only one. There's one. All the wheels haven't fallen off at Clemson. They still have one wheel left. So you can go ahead and jump on that wheel.
Michigan to go 10-2. Obviously, I was wrong, but I mean, I will ride with my team's ride or die. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm ride or die with my team. So
hopefully Michigan can beat Northwestern.
Imagine Michigan beats Ohio State.
And hopefully Nebraska can beat Iowa
or Wisconsin
or USC. Yeah.
Nate, y'all are not beating Ohio State. Y'all are not. Y'all don't have Connor
Well, you say
anymore.
that, but
Nate knows that.
I get that.
He knows that.
I get that. I knows that. Oh, I knows that. I know that. But I gotta believe it till I see it. So.
You don't need to believe it. You just look at the team and this year and say
I'm just saying. Ryan Day has a choke job against Michigan. I know Michigan is a terrible team, but terrible teams.
Speaking of terrible teams, Oklahoma State's an 11.5-point underdog to TCU. Holy shit! Now, is Oklahoma? Are they going to win one conference game? What's their schedule look like?
I have no idea.
Click on it and see.
Probably horrible.
Oh my God, they're bad.
Yeah, are they worse than Michigan?
Huh?
Who?
Are they worse than Michigan?
Or who? Nebraska?
Oklahoma State? Yes, Oklahoma State's worse than Michigan. Yeah, they are.
Not worse.
Probably.
Wow.
Michigan is better than Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State's
Listen, it'd be easier to name the teams that aren't better than. I mean, Oklahoma State's one of the worst teams in the country.
Yeah, Oklahoma State sucks. They're not.
They're borderline Florida, and they're not as bad as Florida State, but they're in the same universe.
Remember now, Oklahoma State has 3 wins, and one of them was that win over Arkansas that they didn't deserve at all.
No.
They should be 2-6.
Yeah.
Yes.
They suck.
Oh, by the way, Pete, I shaved my beard, and I shaved my beard, and I basically left some hair.
What? You shaved your beard, but you left some of it?
Yeah, I want to see it.
What?
Sure.
Yeah, please.
It's like a Amish style.
What?
Turn your head to the side. Oh my God, Nate! Why?
That's
What?
called mutton chops.
Yeah. What kind of look are you going for there?
What do you, Elvis Presley?
Well, I mean, I want to do something new, so.
You look like every stereotypical Tennessee fan that everybody ever talks about.
That makes you look like TriStar now.
Oh God. Wow.
You want to be Elvis Presley?
I'll take that. Over TriStar.
You just have like a patch of hair stuck to the side of your face.
I know. I did shave today, but before that I haven't shaved since.
What? That didn't even make any sense.
No shave November.
No, I have not shaved until now, but I have not shaved before here. Before that, I have not shaved since
No shave
until July,
November.
or since July, I think, this year.
Somebody said something earlier. What was the question? I can't remember who it was now. What's the most likely 2-loss team to get in? Well, there'll probably be multiple 2-loss teams to get in the playoffs, right?
Yeah, there's
several. I mean, you got to think about it. I mean, you're going to have any conference champion, and then you're going to have several at-larges that are 2. Yeah, of course. The thing about a 12-team playoff is you got to put 12 teams in, right?
Yeah, right. So.
Yeah, I think Ohio State might lose.
They're having 12 one-loss teams in there.
You think that Ohio State might lose to who? Indiana?
Yeah.
That's really the only real threat for the rest of their games, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, they're beating Michigan. We know that.
I know that, but
So, yeah, Indiana.
I just think it'll be funny if Michigan still beats them. But hey, I think it would be hilarious. But it's not happening.
No.
It's fall here though.
I think Clemson underestimated Louisville.
Yeah, obviously.
I think it's a matter of Dabo trying to throw the ball instead of running the ball.
Well, I mean, Moffitt had like 160 yards or something.
I think it was just they underestimated Louisville. They thought it would be a cakewalk, and then they realized that Louisville had played pretty good against Miami. They beat, who was it, Georgia Tech? And then they came and played Clemson, and they beat them. And it was convincingly.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about being underestimated, but the defense is terrible, and they're getting worse. So that's why they lost this football game.
Another thing you're miscounting is bad special teams. They missed two.
I'm not discounting that.
They missed 2 field goals. 2 field goals.
I mean, we've got a punter who can't kick the ball 20 yards.
Same here.
They were blocked. They were blocked 2 times.
Yeah, but even when they're not blocked, they can't. He doesn't go more than 20 yards. The field goal kicker is not terrible, but the punter is.
Yeah, do y'all have one of those Australian punters?
I don't know what country. I'm sure he's American.
All right, y'all need to get one.
But he's a bad kicker in every country on earth.
Do you want
Y'all need one of them
That's funny.
Australian punt.
Michigan's punter is better than Clemson's punter, but
Yeah, y'all need one of them Australian punters. Yeah.
Every single week when I watch Clemson play, the other team has a better punter. Doesn't matter who it is.
Ouch.
Fucking App State. Hell, I bet we play the Citadel. Or I think, is it the Citadel? Or,
yeah.
I bet their punter's better.
Yeah.
Well,
Probably is.
we should
Probably their whole special teams is better.
Hey, don't get me started on Georgia, man. I want that motherfucker Carson Beck to be benched or replaced. And I want Kirby Smart to quit simping for Carson Beck like he did for Jake Fromm back in the day.
Yeah, he's not getting benched.
No.
That ain't gonna happen.
He keeps simping. He keeps simping for Carson Beck just like he did for Jake Fromm. Back
I don't
in the
know.
day. I can't
Look,
stand that shit.
here's the reality. He might be the best quarterback on that team. You just might not have any good quarterbacks.
That might be true.
And plus, they're all 5 stars.
Yeah, remember, I mean, Stetson Bennett was playing because he was the best quarterback on the team.
And he was the walk-on, yeah.
Yeah, and he was the best quarterback. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That Lou said that either Stetson Bennett is the best quarterback on the team or he's not, and either one is unacceptable.
Yeah.
And Stetson Bennett won back-to-back national championships. So
He did, man. And goddamn, you know what? I got to give it up to Stetson McBetherson McBennett the 10th. What a redemption story on his part, bro. Really.
Yeah, he's more than a million.
Man, I got to give him credit, man.
Imagine.
I remember Uncle Lou griping on his show about them trotting out Stetson fucking Bennett back in like 2020. And guess what, man? Shit.
right, yeah, we all had to eat our crow on Stetson.
Yeah,
Yes, we did.
Turned out to be okay.
Yeah, I did too. I mean, I was hard on him too. So I mean, until
be thankful.
we started winning games. At some point, I decided that, you know what, I think we're gonna be just fine with Stetson Bennett. I believe it was in 2021. It was after the Mizzou game, and then JT Daniels came in, after he had been hurt for a while, and then he did not look good. So I'm like, you know what? I think we're going to be just fine with Stetson Bennett. I think we're going to end up winning.
Yeah, we can't be living off the glory days anymore. We got to be finding some quarterback that can fucking play and quit five stars. They keep fucking up all the time. These 5 stars ain't no good for some reason.
Carson Beck's problem ain't talent. He's just a head case now. He's just living in his own head.
Okay. My question is, why you Georgia? Well, it's not you Georgia fans, but Georgia keeps signing 5-star QBs, and yet they don't really use them. So, I think Georgia.
We use 5 stars. They just don't turn out to be good. They turn out to be garbage. Look at the one at Kentucky. He's a 5-star. He's garbage. Look at Carson Beck. He's a 5-star. He's not any good. He's not that great. He only shows up in the second half, and he still makes mistakes in the first half. And then we have a 5-star.
I don't remember which number interception it was this past weekend that he threw, but I think it was the second interception he threw. There wasn't a Georgia player within 10 yards of where he threw that football. I was like, what?
Interception. He almost threw a 4th interception, but luckily it bounced off the defender's hand into the other receiver's hand. I was like, God damn, he's about to throw another interception.
Yeah, that second interception, I mean, that was just...
That was really bad.
Horrible. I don't know what he was seeing there on that play, but
he was prepping.
I'll tell you what he wasn't seeing. He wasn't seeing red jerseys.
Well, I should have lost that game.
There wasn't one around.
He was pressing too hard. He was pressing way too hard, trying to make a play when he should have just threw it out of bounds or something like that, and just wait till the next play.
Or take a sack. He can take a sack. It's better than
Don't take a sack. Don't take a sack. Just throw it out of bounds or throw it somewhere out of the defender's direction. Don't try to throw it inbound where it can be catchable. No.
Did you just say he pressed it too hard?
Yeah, he's pressing way too hard in the pocket to try and make a play when he shouldn't.
That's true.
But yeah, I just want to get out of that way. But yeah, I mean, it may go after 4 stars because some 4 stars pan out.
Just because there's some 5 stars that are bust doesn't mean people don't want 5 stars. I don't know what you're saying. Are you saying because Stetson Bennett's great, they should just start every walk-on? I mean... There's more 4-star bust than 5-star bust just because there's more 4 stars than there is 5 stars.
Yes.
I gotta go, but love y'all.
All right. See you later, Nate.
Later.
Bye, Nate.
I don't know. I just see we just don't do good with 5 stars, man. It's just something about it. We it's just something about having a 5-star with Georgia, and they just fuck up. We could have had Justin Fields, and he looked like he was going to be great. And then he just stuck with fucking, what was it, Jake Fromm?
Jake Fromm.
Jack Fromm, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, that's why I say he kept simping for Jake Fromm. Like, and what's his face? Justin Fields was in a national championship with Ohio State. I'm like, see, this is what you get, Kirby Smart. When you get stupid games, play stupid games, you get stupid prizes.
Well, once you're Kirby's man,
I love that one. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. You're 100% right on that, Cole.
I mean, it's what it is. And he keeps defending Carson Beck. I'm like, you can't keep
Kirby's man. You're Kirby's man, yeah.
You can't keep defending them for so many times. I guarantee in the next game against Ole Miss, they're the number one scoring defense in the nation. Oh, well, not nation, maybe SEC. They will at least have 2 turnovers or 3 turnovers by Carson Beck in the first half, if I had to predict.
Yeah, so which nickname for Carson Beck do you like better? Do you like Bad Reed Beck or Carson
Trainwreck? Carson Trainwreck.
What about Carson Cuck?
Carson Trainwreck. He's a train wreck.
That's harsh, Vic. Come on.
Yeah, what?
Bad
Carson Cuck. Damn.
You got some inside info we don't know about? What's going on?
Right.
I call him Carson Trainwreck because he's a train wreck.
We'll just call him Carson Wreck. That sounds better.
Carson Wreck.
So wait.
No.
So Georgia's not winning the Natty. Am I right, Vic?
They only go as Carson Beck takes them, and I don't see them taking them any farther.
I say that, but
I don't know, man. I think y'all might, though.
I don't know.
Well, they're definitely a top 5 team. Where you want to put them in the top 5 is we could debate till the cows come home. So, any team in the top 5 has a real legit chance to do it. But
if Georgia wins the Natty, will any of y'all be shocked? Because I won't.
No.
Would I be shocked? I don't think that'd be the right word.
I mean, I don't think I'm concerned we probably won't because Carson Beck will throw too many interceptions. It's already in his DNA that he's going to throw interceptions. He's got 11 in his 5 games.
Yeah, 11 and 11.
Yes.
Boy.
Yes. So what do y'all think has a better chance of happening? Georgia win the national championship or Falcons winning the Super Bowl?
Oh, Georgia.
Huh? Georgia.
Georgia.
What kind of question is that?
Georgia. Good God.
Georgia probably. Yeah, I think Georgia has a better chance of winning the Natty. But yeah, I don't think the Falcons are winning a Super Bowl.
Let's rephrase that. Who has a better chance of making the playoffs?
Not without a push. Yeah.
Who has a better chance of making the playoffs? Atlanta
They'll
Falcons.
both make the playoffs. They'll both make the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
Playoffs. They're both. You get the Dogs and the Falcons will both make the playoffs. But yeah, I guess I do think Georgia's a better chance of winning the Natty. I mean, I just don't trust the Falcons, defense.
I don't trust Kirk Cousins because he's a turnover. He's not a playoff machine. He's only good in the regular season. He ain't good in the postseason. He's like Lamar Jackson.
He's a man.
They're going to have one team in the division that can do anything. The Saints in Carolina are god awful.
Yes. Thanks.
Shout out to Bryce Young. For real. He came back, played yesterday, and won.
And they beat who again, Pete?
Huh?
Who did they beat?
The Saints. Another terrible team.
Exactly.
Yeah, another terrible team.
Derek Carr.
Right.
I think that
he's the first
the Falcons
quarterback.
are a pretty good team. I think the Falcons are a pretty good team, and I think that they can win a playoff game. I think that's possible.
Yeah,
they can win a playoff game. Yeah.
I got to step away for about 30 seconds. I got to pee, so you guys do your work your magic while I'm peeing. Thank you.
Nah, Vic, I think the Falcons are the best team in that division
by far.
I think they're going to make the playoffs. I think they can win a playoff game as they'll have one at home.
Right.
I think that Kirk Cousins, despite the fact he's as much maligned status, particularly in key games over his career, he is a good quarterback.
But he's not good in the postseason. He's not good.
He doesn't do anything in the postseason.
Yeah, well, okay, but he's not good in the postseason until he is one time. Do I think he's going to go to the Super Bowl? No. But do I think he can win a playoff game? I think he can.
No.
But right now, Detroit's a fucking wagon, dude.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
Detroit is a wagon, and I would love to see Detroit win the Super Bowl. I mean, obviously, I'm a Cincinnati fan. I was happy to see them win a game this weekend because, obviously I've been taking some beatings lately. But, look, I think the Falcons can win a playoff game. I think the issue for me with the Falcons is that, Kirk Cousins is old. And is there a clean handoff from him to Michael Penix? Is Michael Penix ready to take that mantle? When does that happen? I feel like Cousins has at least this year and next year in him, right? Do you agree with me, Vic?
Right. Yeah.
He's a man. He's 40.
Well, he's 36?
Yeah, I don't know how old is he? 36?
Right.
Well, that money they paid him said he's going to play this year and next year. That money they gave him.
He's in his mid-30s.
This fucking idiot Makama. Every time he goes, I'm literally talking to you right now. Makama, fuck you, you're a retard. I'm talking right now. You hear me? Am I loud enough? You fucking shit. Every time I get owned, dude, do you hear me right now, you stupid cunt? All right, anyway, move on.
Oh.
Makima's just looking for attention. Don't mind them.
I'm done. I'm going to stop paying attention.
They, them. This is off of the NFL subject, but where is game day going this week? Does anybody know?
If I had to guess, it's either going to LSU or Alabama, or it's going to Georgia or Ole Miss.
Yeah.
It's at LSU, Alabama. They already said, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they already said they're going to LSU, Alabama.
Yeah, Baton Rouge.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be either one of those two games.
Yeah, they're going to Corndogville.
They're corn dogging it, bro.
Corn dogs.
You think Alabama's going to choke, or you think they're going to get their shit together and beat LSU?
You know what, bro?
I
actually have no fucking idea.
That's a hard game there. It's only I think Alabama's favored by 3 on the road. It's in Baton Rouge.
Man, and by the way, Pete, not in Death Valley, but in Death
Valley, yes.
Yeah, that's right. So I believe, I think you're right that Alabama is -3. I have no idea. I mean, that's one of the hardest picks of the week for me. I have no idea.
You know what? I don't know who did. No outcome would surprise me in that game. I would take LSU just because it's at home. That's the only reason.
I'm taking
Man, but
I guess, man, shit. I think I'm going to take Alabama -3, but geez, I have no idea, man.
I'll probably go.
You know what? I take that back.
Like what they did against Mizzou, and Mizzou ain't a good team, but they played the way they did against Mizzou. They can beat LSU, but they got to play like that.
I take it back, actually. Brian Kelly playing in a game against a ranked team, probably LSU is going to lose.
But LSU beat Alabama last time they played him at home, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, his track record against ranked teams is not good.
Not at all.
Right. Well, that was at Notre Dame, though.
Well, and at LSU too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That to me is one of the more interesting games of the week where I can't really figure out who I want to pick.
Oh yes, right. What I was gonna say is the problem with how you look at the Mizzou game is that Mizzou.
You know why? Listen. You know why I think it got us off our loop?
Mizzou's backup quarterback, I mean, is absolutely horrible. That Drew Pine. He's just absolutely horrible. So I mean,
Missouri.
You know what I think it got us for a loop is the LSU quarterback or the A&M quarterback, the change-up when they played LSU and A&M. That took us for a loop because they had to change up their game plan, and they didn't know how to strategize against that running quarterback, and that messed them all up. So now they're going to have to figure out how to play against Mildew, and they know how to strategize because they know it's going to be just one quarterback that's going to be – they know how to play against.
They know how to plan.
So you reckon that LSU wins?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. It's just gonna be hard. I'm just saying it just threw them off the Texas A&M game because they swapped out their quarterback and they didn't know how to account for the running quarterback.
Right.
I really feel like this is a very difficult game to handicap. I feel like that's just my
it is.
Yeah, no, it's very hard to predict because you don't know. And they really, Alabama stuck to that run game because they were passing really hard a couple of weeks ago. And then this week or past week, they were running the ball efficiently. They were passing when they needed to. They were getting turnovers.
So Georgia's got Ole Miss. Georgia is a 2.5 point favorite on the road at Ole Miss. That's another hard game to pick. I probably would obviously take Georgia. I think they're a better team. But
I don't think that's it.
Who's
like Georgia?
When does Georgia play Tennessee? Is that next week?
Yeah, next. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, really,
Trap game?
I'm really.
I don't know.
Where's that game? Where's that game?
Georgia.
That game's in Georgia, yeah.
Yeah, I'm really worried about this Ole Miss game. Not going.
Hell yeah, I am. I'm worried about it too.
Not gonna lie. Yeah.
Are you?
I'm worried about it.
You really? Are you impressed by Ole Miss? Because I'm definitely.
They can definitely score. I mean,
after that loss to who was it? LSU. They got better. They started improving. They started see.
By the way,
we all predicted that Arkansas was going to beat Ole Miss. At least I did, and a few others. And they actually beat Ole Miss. Actually beat Arkansas, and they started blowing out other teams. And they've been getting better as the game goes on.
You know what? This might be
blowout.
This game might be one of my picks tonight on the Lunch Money Show. I'm not going to say which way I'm going or how I'm betting it, but I'll let you know tonight. But yeah, there's something I see on here that I really like.
What is your favorite pick? If you don't want to tell us, if Pete doesn't want to tell us his pick of the week because he's going to say it later, what is everybody else's pick of the week this week in major games? If anybody's got one.
Of the week. Well,
lock of the week.
Well, I haven't looked at all the games or all the spreads yet.
Okay.
I stated mine. Alabama. I think Alabama, and I don't think it's going to be close. And I'm gonna go bold prediction. It's not going to be close. I think Alabama is going to get LSU, but I'm gonna go.
So you'll happily lay the 3 on the road with Alabama?
Yes.
As a lock of the week.
Georgia living rent-free in that worried mind of yours, Pete. What do I have to be worried about? We already played Georgia, and we already lost to them. So what is there for me to worry about?
Yeah.
Your comment section is fucking potatoes. Anyway.
I've talked about probably 15 different teams since the show has started. As soon as I bring up Georgia, now all of a sudden there's a rent-free, whatever that is. Which is also, which by the way, rent-free might be the dumbest fucking saying that's ever been concocted. And whoever came up with that shit should be, tarred and feathered.
There you go. Hey, I know Slim's not here today, but he would appreciate that.
Yeah, that's why I said it.
18-2.
So, Vic, you got a lock of the week or not?
No, not yet.
What's another big game besides these SEC games?
There's some good ones here. Let's see. Obviously, the Georgia Ole Miss game is a big one in the SEC. LSU and Alabama, we talked about that.
Is Vandy Dandy in the chat? Because
I don't see him in there. No.
Okay, he and I do talk on another app relatively frequently.
You mean the week chat?
Yeah. But I'm not gonna lock up South Carolina for just on principled reasons. But I do feel like South Carolina is gonna kick Vanderbilt's ass.
Well, I don't know. They might have a.
I hope they don't. Listen, I'm rooting for Vanderbilt, obviously.
Yeah, that's another interesting game there, actually. I mean, I tend to, if I had to pick, I'm picking South Carolina. What's the spread on that?
3.5. They're 3.5 point road favorites against Vanderbilt last I checked.
I don't know. I'm done dismissing the fact that Vanderbilt can upset people because they've been doing it all year. So
yeah,
listen, dude, I fucking certainly hope they do. I mean, I'll be rooting for Vanderbilt, but I'll find some gold in my house and wrap it around my fucking chest.
South Carolina might have a letdown after their big win.
Pray tell.
Yeah.
Pray tell.
I'm seeing all kinds of good lines that I like here.
Yeah, I think my lock of the week is actually going to be, and this is probably stupid,
Well,
but
it's all stupid.
But I like Utah is a 4.5 point home underdog to BYU.
What?
And
Why?
I think that they're gonna.
Now, come on. You're right. That is stupid.
I know it's dumb. That's a dumb pick.
Where did you come up with that?
Well, look, last week I run a pool. We got 25 guys in, and I was the only guy to pick Minnesota. Minnesota was a road favorite over a ranked Illinois team. I was the only guy out of 25 to pick Minnesota, and I was the only guy to win that pick.
Yeah.
And so I'm just going to rely on that. Give me Utah plus 4.5 at home against BYU.
What?
Am I still taking the Taters against the Hokies?
That logic didn't exactly add up. But go ahead.
Yeah, I am taking the Taters against the Hokies. They're favored too.
A miracle run this year. They were preseason one of the worst teams in the Big 12. And I think that they are better than they were suspected to be. This is a rivalry game. BYU, I mean, Utah is a tough place to play. The game's at night. 4.5. Maybe BYU wins by a field goal, but I feel comfortable.
Utah is a tough place to play.
Absolutely.
I've never heard that.
Well, you just did.
That was cool.
There's a first time for everything, Vic.
The Big 12 is not a tough place to play.
But look at this. Where is it now? Oh, I lost it. Oh, well, there's two in particular. Notre Dame is a 26-point favorite against Florida State in South Bend.
Take the points. Take Notre Dame in those points.
Yeah, I'm surprised this isn't like a 30-point line. I'm being serious.
I mean, what is it, 26.5?
It's 26.
Yeah, Florida State's god awful. Yes.
No, I know that, and trust me, I savor every drop of their congealed, coagulated, desiccated, fucking poisoned blood. But 26.5 is the number.
26.
Yeah, I'll take Notre Dame.
Yes,
yeah, 35-6 sounds right, but at the same time, like, can't you see a 35-13?
No.
I don't think Florida State scores 13 points in that game.
Notre Dame's going to score 50 again.
Yeah,
they're not scoring 50. Now, Florida State's defense, Florida State sucks, but their defense they're not Purdue.
We talked about this earlier in the show. They battled for, even when they were 1-5, they still played hard, but they've given up now.
Yep, they have quit.
Yeah,
it's
Notre
over.
Dame is going to get the belt out for this one.
Weren't they playing a safety at quarterback? One the guy.
Oh, here's the line I was looking at. Colorado. Now this is a weird line. Both things about this are weird. Colorado's only a 3.5-point favorite to Texas Tech. Texas Tech is awful.
Texas Tech. No, they're not. They're not. Texas Tech just beat Iowa State on the road last week.
Okay, that's why it is the way it is then.
Okay.
I don't care. They're still not a good team.
Oh, no, give me Texas Tech. That was going to be my other lock.
And the over-under is 62.5.
Texas Tech in the over.
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're a good team, but they're not awful.
Yeah, they're okay.
Texas Tech on the money line. Money line, Texas Tech. Lock it up.
They're 6-3.
Yeah. All right. Let me pull up their schedule here.
That's a good.
Let's see at least what. Now I'll give them credit for beating Iowa State. That's actually a good win. So I mean, you got to give them credit for that. But what's their other wins? What's their others? Do they have any other wins against anybody? Who have they played?
Who have
they played?
Who has Colorado beat? I mean, I like their magical season, but who have they beat?
I like that. I want to echo Uncle Lou just said that Mackama's homeschooled and ran for homecoming king and lost. I think that's pretty good.
Colorado is lucky to be in a weak conference, in my opinion.
Agreed.
They lost to who was it? Kansas State, and they're pretty good.
I'm about to tell you right now.
If they played BYU, they would lose.
Texas Tech is a volatile team. They're an up and down team. When they play well, they play well. When they play poorly, they're shit.
Yep.
And so I I mean, look.
All right, so here you go. The week 1, they beat something called What is ACU? I don't even know what that is.
It's Abilene Christian.
Abilene Christian, 52-51 in overtime. They won that one. They beat. They lost 37-16 to Washington State. They won 66-21 against North Texas. They won by 8 points against Arizona State. They beat Cincinnati by 3.
They beat a horrible. I'm sorry, bro. They beat a horrible Arizona team.
Yeah.
By 6. I don't mean it. I'm sorry, Zona.
Yeah, they beat them by 6. They got ran off the field by Baylor, 59-35. Holy shit. Then they lost to TCU.
Then they turn around and beat an undefeated.
Yeah. So here's my point.
On the road.
I'm still under the impression that this is not a good team. I've looked at all the games now.
Fair enough. I'm taking a flyer.
And also, the over with 60. Yeah, there might be 100-point score. Hell, Colorado probably scores 60.
Give me 48-45 Texas Tech.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with Volusia. Yeah, I'll take Texas Tech too. Yeah, I think that.
I'll third that.
Y'all want to know how much of a genius I am?
Probably gonna lose at least one more.
I bet a bunch of college football games this weekend. I had a massive winning record when you look at how many bets I made and how many I won, and I still managed to lose money. I was like 6-2 in my bets or something on Saturday, and I still lost money. Boy, you got to be a genius to do that.
Oh, now Mackama's coming after you, Vic, too.
What do you say? What do you say?
He's saying that you don't say anything of value, but yet you're one of the drivers of not only this show but this community as a whole.
Well, I mean, Mackama doesn't say anything. That's.
Well, I've never heard his fucking voice.
Well, first of all, VicTube.
You know what, man, I don't want to say this and I'll leave it alone. I want to say one thing and I'll leave it alone. Look. You know, I've been coming on the show for a number of years now, and I will gloat about sports wins and I will mope about sports losses for Clemson or for whatever. When it comes to politics, we can talk about it, but I won't gloat or mope about it because I don't take it. I mean, I take it seriously, obviously, otherwise we wouldn't have the sort of energetic or sort of enthusiastic conversations that we do. You know, and I know that I disagree with a lot of people and I agree with some others, and that's fine. But like for me, politics and sports are different. The point is, the election's coming up, regardless of whether the candidate that I like wins or loses or whatever. You know, I'll be happy or unhappy about it, but I'm not going to gloat. Like if Harris wins, I'm not going to get on here and gloat about it. And if Trump wins, I'm not going to get on here and be like, oh, fucking no. I'm not going to melt down about it. It is what it is, right? I'd rather talk about sports with y'all anyway. But the point is, this dumb-ass motherfucker better show up on Wednesday. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to leave it at that. This dumb-ass motherfucker better show up on Wednesday. Now we can move on and talk about sports. I just want to make sure he hears me.
Well, as far as the VicTube comment goes, VicTube's got more intelligence. VicTube has more intelligence in his pinky toe than Makima has in his entire head.
Obviously. Vic is a pillar of this community. Let's go. Dude, I'm all for you, Vic. I mean, we've never met in person, but I still love you, bro.
Yeah, thanks.
And not like in the whole like flat. I like you, but I love you, but I don't like nobody.
Plus Vic is funny.
I love you too.
Can you drop that for me, Pete? Even though I don't mean it.
Forget the intelligence part. Vic is funny. Makima has never said anything funny in his entire life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love you too, Lucia.
I appreciate you, bub.
Pete is a betting extraordinaire and fart sommelier. What? Yeah, I agree with Zona. BYU's going to roll Utah. I have no idea where you're coming up with that pick there, Volusia.
Well, yeah. Listen, I'm happy to gloat about that. If Utah wins, I'm happy to gloat about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when they don't, you're going to be like, what was I thinking?
And if they lose by 40, you can laugh at me. That's fine.
Yes. Yes. And we.
I guess. I mean, that's technically a rivalry game, isn't it?
Oh, it's absolutely a rivalry game.
Yeah. What's the name of that game? Do they call it something like the Mormon Special
War.
or something?
I believe it's called the Holy War.
The Holy War.
Holy War.
Holy War.
Please check me on that, but I believe that rivalry is called the Holy War.
Yeah, it is. It is the Holy War. And the.
I'm getting religious now.
All right, fellas, y'all be good. I got to drop off.
All right, take it easy, buddy.
All right.
Yep.
All right, bye, Yoda.
The
Well,
Holy War.
When I said that, he said that was a good pick, so I appreciate him for that.
Holy War.
I don't think he really agreed with you. I think he was just trying to make you feel better.
No, I appreciate that anyway. Whatever.
Yeah,
I need some of that.
yeah, I like the Texas Tech pick. I don't like the Utah pick.
Okay.
I don't like either one. Florida and Texas.
Oh, Vic, I want to ask you something, bro. I know we do the pick against Vic or the beat.
The outpick Vic. Yeah.
How do I get on that, bro?
You have
and
to.
I'm losing here.
You have to click the StreamYard link. We do it toward the end of the show. Lou will put the StreamYard link in the chat. The first person who comes on the StreamYard gets.
Now, what time is that show? Because you got to remember my time is flipped over.
It starts at 8 in the morning for us. So I guess that's 8 o'clock at night for you.
It's 9 now because y'all just fell back.
Right.
Yeah.
So what day of the week is that? What day of the week is that?
It's 9 o'clock for you. It's on. It's on Thursday. So I guess that would be Wednesday night.
Thursday night at 9. Thursday night at 9 for me. As long as I don't have anything else going on, I'll do that. I'll see if I can be the first one.
I thought it was Wednesday night.
No, I'm 13 hours ahead of you right now. So right now it's 1:44 a.m. on Tuesday.
Oh, okay. So you're ahead. Okay.
13 hours ahead of y'all right now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. I'll see if I can do it. So it would be Thursday night / Friday morning. I'm sorry. No, that's not right. Thursday night at 9 p.m. for me.
Yes.
I have a question, Vic. Have you been outpicked yet this season?
Well, let's see. I have not. Let's see. I beat Hoghead and Biggs Mike's. I think. I'm not sure how I did against DJ David, but I think I lost. I can't remember what his picks were, but I know that I think I went 0-3 on mine.
So you're 2-1.
No, you did lose the Vikings bet. They played the Rams. You did lose that bet.
Yeah.
I do want to bring this up. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Dick. I don't mean to cut you off.
Lou did, but yeah. Yeah, Lou did, but yeah.
Pete, if as we are the two resident Tater men, I do want to allow me to go on to a small brief tangent here, as we have a Baylor man and an Arizona man in the chat right now. Hey, Pete, what is the what do Baylor and Arizona have in common?
I don't know.
As it pertains to Clemson.
As it pertains to Clemson.
No.
I know they know the answer.
I don't know. What is it?
Well, we beat both their asses in the NCAA tournament last year, didn't we?
Oh, basketball. Bouncy ball. That's why I didn't know.
Yeah. Hey, Pete, you know we made the Elite Eight last year by beating Baylor and Arizona.
Yeah, I do. I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah. Listen, as a Clemson basketball fan as well, that makes my dick hard. Anyway, continue.
When's Clemson's first game? Is it tonight?
Tonight, yep.
And who do they play?
We're playing Charleston Southern.
Oh.
Yep.
That's about 10 minutes away from me.
Yep.
Yeah.
We actually, you know what? So we play, as you know, we play a number of interesting games. We're at Boise State, which is an interesting. We play Kentucky at home. Kentucky is coming to Little John this year. That'll be fun.
Yeah, that will be fun.
Yeah, it'd be great. Hopefully we can get it done. Look, we lost a few players, but we also have some good freshmen coming in, a couple good transfers because Brownell is
couple good what?
He does take transfers. Yeah, we do. No, the basketball team does transfer.
Hold on.
Yeah, well, they do.
Transfers?
When the basketball team is done,
oh man,
Joe Girard, the basketball team does transfers.
Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
And Zona Man is really mad because we ended their really promising season by beating them and knocking them the fuck out of the tournament. And I'm sure the Baylor man feels the same way, but no, Clemson's not going to the NIT this year. We're going back to the tournament. Now, we don't have to talk about basketball right now. It's still football season. We'll get there one time.
Well, I mean, Georgia made the NIT last year.
Well, Georgia's got a 5-star recruit.
Georgia made it to. Did they win the NIT?
No, we made it to the Final Four.
Who'd you lose to again?
Seton Hall.
Oh,
yeah. Well, listen. I mean, Georgia's a bad basketball program, but Clemson was for a long time too. So never say never. So was Auburn.
Forever.
Yeah. I think Seton Hall ended up winning the NIT, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, look. I mean, Georgia's got a 5-star recruit. One of the top. I think he's the number 10 or 11 recruit in the country. Is going to Georgia. Clemson doesn't really get guys like that. We're more of a sort of cobble it together, develop players kind of program.
Well, Georgia had Anthony Edwards and still managed to be terrible.
That's true. That's true. And LSU had Ben Simmons, and they were so terrible. No, Zona's big mad about the fact that we knocked them the fuck out. As a matter of fact, I just watched the replay of that game yesterday, and it was as beautiful as it was at any time. Man, first of all, Zona, look, I know I talk a lot of shit to you. You're a good guy, I trust, and I don't hate Arizona, but it is what it is. Take that L and hold it. Hold it. Anyway, we can talk about football,
though. Thank you much.
How long after the election? How long after the election is it going to take for people to stop being crazy? Do you think?
25 years.
Yeah, I think it'll at least be until January 6th.
Yeah. Somebody was, you know about Guy Fawkes? You know who that is?
Yeah.
Remember, like the V for Vendetta dude in England who tried to burn down Parliament, like in the 16th century.
Yeah.
Remember that? Yeah.
I was talking. It's today. Remember the 5th.
Yep.
It's the 5th of November, right?
The 5th of November. Yeah,
that's right. So so the American version of that is January 6th, but it's the most sad, pathetic, ersatz version of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I've seen that movie.
Yeah. The American version of that is a bunch of fucking loser chuds showing up at the White House and Jesus Christ.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. You know how my dad is being buried in Arlington? So we had to make an appointment for that. It was a whole process. Anyway, they came back to us with a date in January in D.C. It was a day, it was either 1 or 2 days after the inauguration is scheduled for.
Dude.
So
look,
we got back to him and we're like, can we do it any other week than that week? Because we don't want to fucking be there during that. I don't care who. I'm not even saying if it's Trump, if it's Kamala, whoever it is. I don't want to be anywhere near that place that week.
Well,
so we did change it.
Good.
Yeah, be a war zone.
Because listen, of course, if Trump wins, there's not going to be an issue. If Kamala wins, there will be. But
I don't know about all that.
No. I think it'll be an issue either way.
Yeah, I'm with him.
You're out of your fucking mind.
No, I think there'll be dissatisfied people. Whoever
I think so too. And I'm not saying anything's going to happen. Nothing might happen.
Okay, sorry, Pete. You
I'm not even saying anything's going to happen no matter what. I just don't want to be there when there's an extra 250,000 people that aren't normally there. I want to go tour Washington and go look at everything, and everything's going to be shut down. So There's a million reasons not to want to go to Washington that week. So,
yeah, I mean, look, of course, in your father's honor, I mean, you don't want to deal with that kind of shit, right?
No, exactly.
Right, and so I think you made the right decision to try and move it, and if you're successful in doing so, that's good.
Yeah, we moved it. It's in February now. I think end of February.
Now, I do want to say that if Trump does win, there's not going to be a riot on the Capitol. But if Kamala does, then there might be. In any case, and we all know that. I mean, don't lie to yourself. We all know that. But
I don't know. I don't have no idea how you could say that.
Me.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you can say that.
Only one group of people has ever rioted on the Capitol. Okay.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
That wasn't on Inauguration Day, though.
That's just it, isn't it?
Inauguration's the 19th or 20th. So it's like the teens. It's mid-January.
Yes, like the 20th, right?
Well, the 20th is Inauguration Day. 20th is Inauguration Day, right?
Yes. When the winner of the election will becomes president, right? Which is why Trump tried to do his coup 2 weeks before the fact, right?
Oh, no matter what happens, there's at least going to be a few hundred people who are idiots from either side who try to go and
Yeah, I don't think so, man.
Do dumb shit.
So, because we've had lots of elections.
Don't try to pretend like that. Don't try to pretend like both sides don't have that problem, because they do.
No, they don't. We've had a lot of. Remember the Al Gore George W. Bush situation? I don't remember in 2000 when the Al Gore George W. Bush situation happened.
Oh yeah, but see, now you're going back. Anything pre 2016 is completely irrelevant. Anything pre 2016 is completely irrelevant.
Washington on Capitol Hill in 2016. Well, where was the riot in Washington on 2016?
Yeah, because there wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Now people will be upset for sure, but if Trump wins, and I'm not saying that's impossible. Of course, it's possible.
The world has gone. This country has gone batshit crazy ever since he took office in January 6th of 2016, and it hasn't got any. It's actually got worse.
Okay. Well, I don't remember anybody who's a Democratic voter or somebody that's on the quote unquote left rioting on the Capitol. So,
not on the Capitol, but rioting
in Portland. Okay. But you're not going to be in Portland, are you?
No.
Okay. So.
And where's Slim Shady when you need him?
Yeah.
To say some dumbass bullshit that has nothing to do with what we're talking about? Yeah.
Slim was in the comments earlier.
Yeah, I saw him in there.
Now, listen. Slim's not here, and I like Slim. I think that Slim is an intelligent dude. I disagree with his worldview vehemently, as we know.
Yeah.
I don't think he's an idiot. Now Mackama's an idiot. I don't think Slim's an idiot. I just think that he's got some misguided views. But I'm not going to talk too much shit about him now. I think he's a high IQ guy. I just think we just disagree on the way that the world works. That's all.
Yeah.
Repeat that.
Huh?
What did Felicia just say? I didn't hear that. Say it again.
Oh, he's just saying he thinks Slim's smart. He just doesn't agree with him.
Guy. I don't think Slim's a dumb guy. I just think that we have different experiences in the world, and that we disagree on the way the world works. Is all.
Right.
That's all.
So what do you think? Do you think with Kamala there won't be a world war, and with Trump there won't be a world war? Because
I don't think that. I think that.
I think Kamala there'll be a world war before Trump would be.
I think that's a silly statement.
Makima doesn't know how YouTube works.
Okay, so I'll answer the question.
He's wanting to know why his link isn't working. Well, hey, just keep trying to post it. Eventually, it'll work.
That's just my opinion. I think there'd be a world war.
Hold on. Let me answer the question first. So I don't think so. I think that, listen, Kamala is not my favorite candidate. If I could choose my own candidate for the Democratic nomination, it wouldn't be Kamala Harris.
Who would it be?
He's better than many other. I mean, of course, Bernie Sanders would be my first.
Oh God, the socialist.
They don't want him.
Hold on.
Yeah, he's also.
Let me answer your question before you start jumping on my ass for that. Right?
Too, so.
Let me answer the question first. So
You're a Democratic voter. You don't get a choice on who the nominee is.
Do I answer the question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do I answer the question? So the answer to the question is that I think that Kamala Harris is a candidate that I can live with. And so the point is that, like, look, I mean, to answer your question about a world war, no, she's part of the Democratic establishment. I don't think that she's leaning any more close to a world war because
you're crazy if that's true. You're crazy.
They don't want a world war. They understand more about how international politics and global politics work.
Oh, so you're about globalism.
The question for you is, hold on, let me finish answering the fucking question, all right? Because I have a question for you at the end of it, all right? So the question is like, okay, so when it comes to the East Asia sort of front, I don't like to use the word front because that sounds sort of militaristic, but you know, they are much more competent than anyone in MAGA is in terms of dealing with countries like, let's say, China and Taiwan and people out here in East Asia. And then we obviously have the sort of Israel-Palestine situation.
How many major wars were started when Trump was president?
Not many.
Right, he just continued them.
Just continued.
How many major wars were stopped when Trump was president?
Trump didn't start any wars.
Trump just continued them.
Not only did he not start any, nobody else did either.
He just continued them.
Exactly. That's my point.
That's not what I asked you. That war was going on. The war that you're referring to was going on for 20 years. Was for 16 years.
Sure, but you act like Trump is some sort of peacemonger. What the fuck are you talking about?
You know, he got a Nobel Peace Prize for putting.
I don't know how.
No, he didn't.
He got a Nobel Peace Prize for bringing Israel to other Middle Eastern nations together.
He did not. What the fuck? He bitched.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Look it up. Look it up. He brought 3 Middle Eastern nations together.
He bitched and complained that Obama got one, which obviously, by the way, Obama
no. First of all, Rich Chat, you're just wrong. Obama dropped more bombs than Bush did. He was the. They ran out of bombs.
Sure.
They ran. They
dropped it on civilians. U.S. citizens.
Look, here's the bottom line. I don't care what anybody says. Every single president in my lifetime has started some sort of world conflict or been heavily involved in another one that's going on, except for Trump.
Trump is absolutely
except for Trump.
No, not true. Trump
JFK, actually, JFK is one that didn't want a war, and he was assassinated for it.
I really don't.
JFK was assassinated because Vietnam. They wanted him to put more troops in Vietnam, and the FBI and the CIA assassinated him for it. Because
hold on now. Let's be.
Who are we talking about now?
JFK.
Yeah, sure. I'll defend JFK.
That's what he didn't want any wars, and when the Bay of Pigs happened in Cuba. Just like with Trump, this is a very similarity with Trump and JFK because they didn't want wars.
Oh my God, a similarity. The only similarity. Hold on, Luke. Give me 1 second, Luke.
There are similarities.
Luke, guys, give me 1 second because I got to take a piss. The only similarity between Trump and JFK is that they both cheated on their wives. Luke, go ahead.
I just want to make sure we're going to continue to judge both sides by the same deal. So while Biden has been president, the United States itself has not entered any new wars, but that's not enough. So any war that happens anywhere in the world is the responsibility of the U.S. president. Is that?
We're funding multiple wars right now, Lou. You know that, right?
Right, and we did that when Trump was in office.
No.
Well, yes, we did. We sent money to Israel and all over the Middle East.
They weren't at war, and they weren't at war like they are now.
The only war we're funding now that we weren't funding when Trump was in office is the Ukraine-Russia war, which wasn't going on when Trump was in office. So that's what I'm asking.
And Israel and Hezbollah.
Israel has been at war with Hezbollah for 50 years, dumbass.
They're still funding it on both sides.
Right, and we funded it when Trump was in office.
True.
The fuck is wrong with you? We send more money to Israel than anywhere every year. Anyway, that's not the point. My point is, if Trump gets elected and 6 months later a war breaks out in Central Africa, we're going to come on here and blame Trump for that. Is that what we're going to, right?
Probably, yes.
Okay, yeah. Just want to make sure. Because that's what we're doing with Biden. You know, none of these countries would go to war if Trump was in office.
Well, first of all, I don't even just blame Biden. I don't even just blame Biden, because believe me, there's just as many war lovers in the Republican Party as there is in the Democratic Party. And actually, the worst war president of our lifetime is George W. Bush, who's a Republican.
Dick Cheney was
by a long shot.
Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney.
No, not
Dick Cheney.
Yeah, but any war that happens,
she didn't do shit.
If a war starts anywhere while Trump is president, that's on Trump.
That's right. And not only that, right? So that means that if Trump is elected, which may or may not happen, if Trump is elected and the war in Palestine, the war in the Middle East doesn't end immediately, now it's on Trump, right?
My point, and here's the problem with this debate, is because you can't prove a negative, you can't prove something that didn't happen, but the question is, hold on, let me finish. The question is, what? Let me finish my point. The question is,
he's going to pull funding from Israel.
The question is, and we can't prove this because we don't know, because it didn't happen. If Trump was president now instead of Biden, would these two wars that are happening, these major wars that are happening right now, would they be happening if Trump was in office instead of Biden? That's the question. We don't know the answer to it, though.
I understand what you're saying. So, number one, do you mean to tell me that Israel and Palestine were not in conflict before Trump was in office?
When did I say that?
So when Trump was in office, Trump wasn't sending money militarily to Israel, right? And then also, if Trump is real,
there was not that region has been unstable for 1,000 years, but it's at an all-time high unstable in the past 4 years, especially in the past 2.
Cool.
Because now it's not just Israel and Palestine. Iran's getting involved, huh?
So if Trump is reelected, he'll stop giving money to Israel and he'll defund the war and it'll end.
Well, I don't think that's up to Congress.
And then money being funded on both sides. You know, they're giving money from Hezbollah, the United States, and they're giving money to Israel. They're giving money to both of them. And they're giving money to Hamas as well.
They're not giving money to Hezbollah. What the fuck are you talking about?
Yes, they are. I guarantee you they are.
Also, forget about funding this or that war. Whoever the president is, just the way that these politicians speak in general. He's the most anti-war president of my life. None of these other presidents have the stones to have a very clear anti-war stance.
So now it's not about what they do anymore; it's about how they speak in general, right?
Yeah, because none of them even talk about being anti-war the way that he does.
Trump was the president already, and he sent billions to Israel every fucking. What world are we?
Again, that is voted for in Congress.
Okay, but
you think Trump wrote a check to somebody?
The president must approve this. But it's just crazy because you blame it on Biden, but not on Trump, right? You can excuse Trump because it has to be.
I'm not blaming anything on Biden, but it's happening on his watch.
But it happened on Trump's watch too.
Are you kidding me,
dude? You think that
what's been going on over there for 1,000 years is not worse today than it was 4 years ago?
Israel and Gaza weren't fighting when Trump was in office. Are you kidding me?
It's not what I said. I just said it. They've been fighting for 1,000 years, or whatever, since the 40s. So we know that.
And so every president who sends money to Israel to kill,
is it more volatile now, or was it more volatile 4 years ago?
It's more volatile by the decisions of Hamas, but the decisions of Hamas are not made because of Joe Biden. Right? Just in as much as the decisions of Vladimir Putin are not necessarily made by Joe Biden or Donald Trump.
Yeah, but the weakness of Afghanistan, stuff like that, pulling out of Afghanistan, stuff like that shows weakness, and that's probably why most likely.
Let me ask you a question. Who signed the deal to pull out of Afghanistan?
It was Trump's idea to pull out of Afghanistan, but you're supposed to.
Correct.
But you're supposed to leave the troops in there first. You're not supposed to pull the troops out last.
Well, no, but that was part of Trump's. No, but that was part of Trump's deal, though, was to pull the troops out of Afghanistan.
No, it was the president's. It was the next president's idea. He said, "I want to pull the troops out last, not first."
Why would you pull the troops out first instead of last?
Because then you're able to protect the civilians and all the equipment. And then they said, for the generals, let's leave the equipment there instead of destroying it or bringing it back. And then they left equipment there.
The purpose of leaving the equipment there was that the Afghans were supposed to use it. We left it behind for the Afghans to use.
Yeah, that worked out great. That worked out great. That worked out really great. They got dominated in less than 24 hours.
Instead of fighting the Taliban.
So, look, I agree with pulling out. I don't necessarily agree with the way that we did it, but yeah, I've been saying fucking shit for 15 years before they pulled out. They should pull out. So I think we all agree on that, right?
Yeah, but the way they did it,
we never should have gone there to begin with. But yes.
Well, yeah.
But
the way they did it was just stupid, especially with billions of dollars of equipment, tanks, Humvees, machinery, dogs. They left dogs there. They left canines there.
The cats too? The dogs and the cats?
Yeah.
They left service dogs there.
Springfield, they're eating the dogs. The people that came in, they're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there.
They didn't eat them, I don't think. They just left the service dogs there. And then now they're probably trained by the Taliban to use them for IEDs or some shit.
Can we say rest in peace to Peanut and Frank? Can I get a rest in peace to Peanut and Frank in the chat?
Yeah, rest in peace, Peanut and
Well, they stole the squirrel and raccoon and murdered them.
Oh yeah.
Y'all see this?
Yeah. I saw that story.
Yes. Apparently, some lady in Texas. Now, this happened in New York City. I think is where these people lived. They had the squirrel for 7 years, and I don't know how old the raccoon was. But anyway, the Peanut, the squirrel, had like 2 million Instagram followers. They posted YouTube videos and Instagram videos every day of the fucking squirrel or whatever. And apparently some lady that lives in Texas, I don't know if this is true or not. This is just, everything on Twitter is true, so I'm assuming it is. This lady in Texas, reported them to, animal control or whoever the fuck handles animals in New York City. And they went and the FBI came to this guy's house. There's a video of him. He tells the whole story. I guess he's got a girlfriend or a wife or whatever. They live in a looks like a pretty nice apartment in New York City, and they have these 2 animals in there. And again, they've had them for 7 years. The FBI comes in there, raids his house, tears his entire house apart. He says he's standing outside of his apartment, basically in detention. They come with a warrant. They seize his squirrel and his raccoon and euthanize them. What are we doing? Now, you guys know how I feel about wild animals and homes.
It's domesticated.
But I'm talking about tigers and snakes, things that can kill you.
Oh, I'm talking about that squirrel was domesticated.
Yeah. What threat was Peanut to anybody?
And that squirrel was actually there for years.
Yeah, 7 years.
Yeah.
They murdered this fucking squirrel.
At least have him make him sue or some shit.
No, I don't think they can sue. I guess under the letter of the law, I guess they were breaking some kind of law. I don't know. I don't know the squirrel laws in New York City, but
yeah, they're probably fairly strict because it could be a problem.
Right. They said the reason for euthanizing the squirrel was because of potential rabies.
Yeah, guess what? Hey, breaking news. Hold on. Where's my breaking news?
Yeah, you can get a shot for that, right?
No, but hold on. Breaking news from the PigskinPeete YouTube channel. Dogs and cats can get rabies too. Imagine that.
But it's
called a rabies shot.
You're not giving a rabies shot to a squirrel or a fucking raccoon, though.
Why not?
You can give shots.
Of course you can.
Like that.
Right. Okay. So they have laws for reasons.
But no, there was no good reason for killing that squirrel or the raccoon.
Maybe not. I don't know the whole story. I'm not going to comment.
There was there was still.
I'm not gonna comment.
No reason to kill them. I mean,
you hear that, Makima, you fucking idiot? I don't know the story, so I'm just gonna say I don't know. Imagine that. But
I know they murdered Peanut.
Yeah. It's okay. Maybe they shouldn't have.
They did.
And Frank.
Maybe that was wrong. I don't know the details. I'll give up for that.
They should have just left them alone. Yeah.
Yeah, first of all, in order to get rabies, you have to be bit by something else that has rabies. So what's biting Peanut inside of an apartment building?
Nothing.
Especially in New York City. It's not wildlife in New York City.
Actually, there is.
Maybe New York, the park, the big ass.
Yeah,
park.
Central Park. There's coyotes in there.
Yeah, but I don't think they would live near it. I don't think.
They live in it. Coyotes have rabies. How about that?
I just don't think. I think it was stupid.
They're birds. Yeah, birds.
Anyway, there was a funny meme on Twitter yesterday. It's, Trump, and it said that they're killing the squirrels, they're killing the raccoons.
They're killing the squirrel. They're eating the raccoons.
Yes. Yeah. New York City has rats the size of Doberman pinschers, and they're worried about a squirrel.
Yeah, rats can get rabies. Yeah.
Do you know they estimate there might be more rats in New York City than people?
Than humans,
probably so. They probably live in the damn sewer and shit like that.
So, how many people live in New York? Like 5 million? What is the number?
I think it's more than that. It's more like 8 million.
Probably all those immigrants living in there now.
So that means there's at least 9 million rats.
City of immigrants. If there weren't immigrants, there would be New York. What are you talking about?
There's at least 9 million rats. But Peanut, though.
Have you ever been to New York City in your fucking life?
One time.
I have.
Okay, so you're going to talk about illegal alien... Dude, what?
I wouldn't want to go there now.
New York City is overrun by illegal... Dude, what are you fucking...
No, it's not.
No, but they're overrun by rats. Actual rats.
Holy shit.
Let's just say that there's like 10 million people in
9 million rats.
There's probably 100.
New York City is doing pretty well. New York's okay.
9 million rats. But Peanut, though.
Yeah.
New York is doing okay.
If there's like 10 million people in New York, there's probably like 100 million rats.
Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah. You know what? I blame Joe Biden for the rats in New York City. When Trump was president, there were no rats in New York City, but now there's rats.
Yeah, there's more now.
Illegal. No, they're illegal rats. They're Venezuelan rats. They're Haitian rats. Okay, and they're eating. Those rats are eating they're eating the dogs and cats of New York City because they're Haitian rats. They're rats.
Yeah, those rats are stealing. Those New York rats are stealing jobs.
That's right. Those fucking Venezuelan and Mexican rats are stealing the New York rats' jobs. They're stealing their pizzas. They're stealing their fucking falafels.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. They're stealing the Ganipkanovs that the regular immigrants in New York make in the park. Yes.
Yeah, stealing the Strombolis.
I wouldn't want to live there.
Jesus Christ. Dude, if you bitch about immigrants in New York City, you're the dumbest motherfucker on planet Earth.
Is it like a what do they call it, a sanctuary city?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where Rob DeSantis put a bunch of people on a bus and sent them up to New York City.
No.
Who was that? Was that DeSantis? Who was that? It might have been Texas governor.
New York City has been literally the sanctuary city for 200 fucking years.
Yeah.
Well, technically more than 200 years. 200.
Right.
How old is this country?
New Amsterdam, the sanctuary city. No fucking
about
shit.
300 years.
300 years.
And that's why it's the richest and most prosperous city in the fucking world.
Is it richer and more prosperous? Is it richer and more prosperous than Tokyo?
Yes.
It is.
But there's more people in Tokyo.
Well, Tokyo is the biggest city in the world.
New York City,
biggest city.
If you take it in a historical context, is the greatest, richest, and most prosperous city in the world, unless you go to medieval times, then it's London. But or fucking, if you want to go far back enough, it's Rome or Athens. But in the modern context, it's New York City, man. New York City is the greatest, richest, most prosperous city in the world.
Well,
it's the main reason
it is. Well, it mainly most of the reason for that is the financial capital of the world. So, I mean, every bank in the world's there. So
okay, but why? No. Well, other than London, it's New York and London. But why the fuck is that? Also, guess what? London's got a lot of fucking immigrants too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know who you're arguing with.
I don't know. The cunts in the chat. I don't know. Not you guys. I love you guys. I'm sorry. I love you all.
Cunts in the chat.
I'm gonna cover it up.
I was trying to make a point about the poor murdered squirrel, and y'all went off on this tangent about immigrants. I don't even know where that came from.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this.
I couldn't believe in aliens, and then you say immigrants.
About rats.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, right.
Somehow that way.
You like to use volatile terms. Yeah, you like illegal. There's not illegals in New York. There might be a couple, I guess, that were sent from Texas, I guess.
Yeah.
But go to New York City and bitch about immigrants and see how that goes for you, bro.
Right. Yeah. They get bussed over.
Go to New York City and bitch about immigrants. That's the fucking dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well,
New York City is cool as shit. Listen, I don't really want to live in New York City personally, but like,
I don't think I'd want to live in any major city. There's nothing. New York is no different to me than Houston or any of the rest of the L.A.
You're not a city boy, obviously.
I'm not a city boy.
I live in Shanghai, which is obviously.
I mean, I could. You know what? I could live in this. I could live in a major city like that for a short period. I couldn't live there for 10 years, but like a year maybe. I could do that.
Dude, look, man, look. Again, I live in a major city. Obviously, I live downtown Shanghai. Like, I live in one of the major cities in the world that's 4 times the size of New York City, right? And I live right ass downtown. I live in the fucking skyscraper ocean. But like, and so I have become a city guy, even though I didn't grow up in a city. But I'll tell you this: New York is intense, man. Like, and the reason why I wouldn't want to live in New York City is because it's a lot.
Because there's too many people. Same thing with LA.
Dude, there's more people in Shanghai than New York by a lot. So that's not the problem. Maybe it is.
Well, there's too many people in both of them.
Like, man, like New York is a bit. It's not personal enough for me, right? Like Hong Kong is like New York. Hong Kong is hardcore, man, just like New York is. But and so I'm from the South anyway. Like I'm actually from the South, so like I need to be in a city that's a little bit less hardcore than that, right?
What do you mean by hardcore?
It's like this. You know, I heard a story. I'll use this as an example, and this is true for New York. So I heard a story, like, and I know this is true. So somebody, you know, the New York subway system is ancient and old, and so they don't really have escalators at most of the subway stations, which is true. And so there was a woman. This is a story that a friend of mine told me. A woman who had like a baby carriage with an infant in it. and she was sort of struggling with how to get. She had a couple, like maybe a grocery bag, and was trying to figure out how to get her baby carriage up the flight of 25 stairs to get out of the subway in Manhattan, right?
Don't they have an outlet?
No, that's what he's saying. They don't have escalators. It's mostly just stairs.
Yeah. New York's subway system is 150 years old. So for some of them do, some of them don't.
Like
right?
an elevator.
So this woman was sort of struggling with how do I get my baby carriage with my grocery bag up the stairs. And there's a businessman, a New York City stereotypical businessman in a suit on his phone. He's literally on his phone bitching at a client or a fucking vendor about some shit. And without even looking at the woman in her face at all, just grabs the front of the baby carriage and helps her up the 25 or whatever it is, flight of stairs, pulls it up, right? He grabs the front end, she grabs the back end, pulls it all the way up the stairs, gets out, drops it once she gets out, and then walks away without even looking at her or saying a word to her. You know what I mean?
What is the point of let's give this guy a Nobel Peace Prize. What's your point?
No, I was saying he did a good deed, but he's also just like a non. Just there's no human interaction. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay.
Right. Now he did something that's good. He did something that a city person does to another city person to help them out. He did a good deed, but there was no human contact.
Oh no! So he didn't say a word. Okay.
Didn't say a word. Didn't even look her in the face. Just saw that she needed help. Picked up the front end of the baby carriage. Helped her drag it up the stairs, or haul it up the stairs rather. Dropped it off, and then went on with his fucking business call, bitching at his fucking boss or his client or whatever the fuck he was doing. In his suit, going to his fucking walls.
So what you're saying is, in a smaller city, he would have, talked to her.
Shanghai is a bigger city than New York, but we have a little bit more personality than that, right? Like, does that make sense? But Hong Kong is just like New York. Hong Kong would be that same type of shit. Man, I need a little bit more human interaction than that, but I also need a big city. That's just my personal view. I understand that if y'all are not city folks or y'all have never lived in a city, then I get it. Like, different people have different ideas about what life is supposed to be like. You know what I mean?
No, I just I like quiet, and that's one thing New York is not. It's quiet.
No, Shanghai you'll never get quiet, dude. Except right now, I guess, because it's fucking.
Yeah, I like the sound of nothing.
Yeah. Dude, it's 2:30 in the morning right now. If I go outside, it's not quiet at all.
Oh, I know.
The only reason it's quiet is because my doors are shut, my windows are shut. That's it. But hey, it's all good. Different people have different lives. We all. Hey, as long as we're all happy, it's all good. As long as Clemson is winning, which is not happening, which is why I'm not happy. There you
go. Anyway, I do have to sign off, guys.
I feel like I'll let that down pretty good. Hey, Pete.
Yes.
Dude, I love you, man. Dude,
yes.
Man, look. Two things. I do want to see you on the show on Wednesday because regardless of whether or not my preferred candidate wins or not, I'll be here. But I also want to talk about, more importantly, the game that's coming up in our team.
Yes.
Because I'm concerned. Yeah.
And we will do that.
We can, good.
We'll do that.
Agree or disagree about politics, and I'm happy to do that. But I'm much more emotional about our team.
Well, here's the thing about the election. I don't think we're going to know who the president is on Wednesday. Probably
could be.
Probably not.
But I think we'll have some things to chew on.
Yeah.
I wish we would have an election where whether it's not 2 or 3 weeks out, we know the first day of election. I just wish we had paper ballots. Fuck this electronic ballot. We need paper.
Yeah,
ballots.
I don't even have time to get into all that. But yeah. Also, Tuesday night tomorrow night, the first CFP rankings come out.
Yes. Yes.
So we'll have that to talk about. We'll have the election that's going to be a complete shit show either way to talk about, right. And we can talk about Clemson and Virginia Tech.
I'd love to talk about all those things with you on Wednesday, as long as I'm able to make it here. Again, y'all have turned it up, so it's midnight to 2 a.m. for me. So as long as I don't get into too much shit from the wife or some other obligations, then we're good.
All right.
See you here on Wednesday night.
That sounds amazing and fantastic.
All right, bro. Go Tigers.
Yep.
I'm hoping, man, that our atrocious performance this past weekend was a one-off.
We'll talk about it on Wednesday. All right.
Maybe I'm a bit more of an optimist. You're a bit more of a pessimist, but I think that we might be able to regulate.
I'm not a pessimist. I just don't think the defense is any good. But
yeah,
you know,
dude. Look, I try to. I'm gonna try and keep it positive for now. If we play poorly against Virginia Tech, then maybe I'm gonna sink down into the depths. But for right now,
yep.
Yeah. Anyways, we'll
so
see
you're,
next.
so you're saying there's a chance.
I'll be here.
All right.
As long as you, Pete, as long as you're here next show, I'm here.
All right.
All right, bro.
Have a good one.
Tigers,
Thank you.
Let's fucking go. Go Tigers. Let's turn it around, dude.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go. All right, Jarrett, thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
All right, talk to you later. Vic, as usual.
Yeah, bye, Pete.
Yeah, see ya. Yeah, that's going to do it for me as well, everybody. Don't forget, tonight at 10 p.m., the Lunch Money Show. Like I said, I think I went like 6-2 on my college bets last week, still lost money. Thank God for the NFL. Because I wanted my money back. But so anything I pick tonight, the best thing you could probably do is just fade me on every pick, and you probably would you'll probably win 100% of your wagers. All right, everyone. Thank you. Have a great rest of your Monday. I'll see you guys at 10 o'clock.